was very stimulating. Not yet. Quite stimulating, wouldn't you say? Come in, Alexander. No. Not yet. Alexander. Not yet. Quite stimulating, wouldn't you say? It was very stimulating. Not yet. Alexander. No. Alexander. It was very stimulating. Quite stimulating, wouldn't you say? Not yet. Alexander. Not yet. Not yet.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timelines Talks. Featuring guest musical performers, Metallica frontman, oh my, it's Stars and Garter. Also featuring, hey buddy, you're a tier 9. Look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, from Spreadsheet City, here's your host, Captain Idol.
Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantastic week in Spreadsheet City. As our wonderful announcer said, yes, this is the premium #1 talk show for the fantastic game that we all play called Timelines Talks. Joining me, as always, To my left or right, I can't work out because the camera's backwards, Automaton 2000. To the other side on the far right, our frequent mainstay, Stars and Garters. And for the first time joining us, welcome to Skycap. Welcome, Skycap, to the stream.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are we all doing today? We had a wonderful week in the game since Emery dropped. I hope you've used him well.
We did?
Guess what? Nothing brightens up your prospects like an old black man in a wheelchair. Nothing brings more joy to your heart.
So, this week, bit of a special show. We're going to be... the reason we have Skycap here is she set herself a little challenge. Sky, do you want to have a chat about what kind of challenge you set yourself and why we're doing this today? Why are we gathered here today to perform this function?
We're here because So during the honor sale, like a lot of people, I liquidated everything. I opened all my packs. I spent all my credits on packs. I spent all my merits on packs. And then I thought, now I'm broke. What if I start hoarding everything? With the goal of saving enough merits to do 100 merit packs. And that day has arrived. It actually arrived a few days ago, but you guys don't stream on weekends. So hopefully today you'll be so gracious as to let me do my, I think it's 110 merit pulls. And then I also have a couple dozen premium packs that I've been saving from events and campaigns and the very nice achievements that they did the other week.
And because we all know that what people really love to watch is other people choosing bad beholds. So
it's that moment of
So I think we need to start taking bets on how many straight drops.
And then they walk out and you're like...
How many straight drops, how many all frozen beholds. I think I remember trying to track that once. So just like, oh no. So if we can see. So you've got, I think you've got 110 merit pulls we're going to do today in a bit. And we've got 24 premium packs to open. So just first, before we jump into that, just a little itinerary. We have a podcast. If you're listening to the podcast, hurrah, welcome to it. This show is going to be a little bit visual heavy, so we'll try and talk through the pack openings. Obviously there's going to be a lot of common and uncommons, but when something does come up, we will talk about it there. So for those listening to the podcast, go off and make a cup of tea while we're doing that, perhaps. But we will also be talking about Ambassador Valar in the Tuesday pack, the LTOs, and the event Roger Korby, Altan Soong, and Transport Chief Rand. So we've got that coming up. We'd like to give a little special shout out this week to a frequent viewer of the show, and I hope you're in chat, but number one skirmish winner of the event last week, which was NoNameNamer. And first, congratulations to you. You've joined the exalted halls of people that have got a number one achievement finish. You can actually finish that collection now. Auto, you spoke a little bit NoNameNamer about it. I don't know if you wanted to talk a bit on it.
Actually, I'm still intrigued about this idea of weekend syndication. We could be like Timeline Stocks, the next generation or something,
No, that's our children.
We could replace the four of us with new actors and put it on the weekend. No, I chatted with him just a little bit about, what it took, how much grinding, how much staying up. Really, the skirmish is probably the most physically demanding of the event types, just because of how long it takes to grind some of those scores. So, yeah, congratulations to him. I think he's been watching us for quite a while, so of course we had to shout him out.
So we now have frequent contributor number 2, faction award winner, DC Pilot. We now have viewer number 1 skirmish winner. We also have Skycap.
Number
you actually
one.
got Skycap. You were the number 81, ranked 81 in the skirmish event, didn't you? Was it 81 or was it 82?
I get a shout out for that?
You get a
Oh, I
shout.
appreciate
Why not?
that.
You're here. Why not?
So it's
Sure.
a cool number, 81. It's like 3 to the 4th power,
Hey.
right?
Oh, we got the clever one on.
I'm doing math live. This is next level.
All right, well, I
I'm
feel
just gonna wipe up my drool.
Okay, so shall we get to the main event? Shall we look at these packs of yours? Because I believe you might not be here for the entire time. So I'm just going to rearrange my windows ever so slightly, because I need to do some technical stuff now. I need to share some screens. Right. So
while you're doing that,
go on.
in the chat, Stephen Instiner suggests for the weekend stream, Skycap, Stellar Ice, and Seven.
That's a
Ooh,
great
yeah.
one. That would be
Potential.
amazing.
Yes. I'm here
Now,
for that.
is that the weekend stream or is that the Mirror Universe stream?
Oh
where
yeah.
We're the bad ones and they're the good ones.
I like it. I think that's got potential. definitely.
We've got the beards.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Who? They have the beards, or we? Have
Well, no, they could do. I think that would
Yeah.
be even funny if
No,
they
well,
did.
I don't know about
alienate.
your relationships, but I have this beard, not any other kind.
Okay, so for those that want to know, Skycabs have been very gracious to let me log into her account. As all consensual. I said, data security. Make sure you change your password.
I'm watching very carefully.
Must be. You're gonna watch me very carefully as I do this. So sorry, let me just.
Yeah, you should. You should watch it very.
I've seen what happens when you guys get a hold of each other's accounts.
Not on this show.
Nah,
Mm.
surely not.
It must have been the mirror show.
Let me just tweak something very quickly. Sorry, apologies.
Mirror show.
Right, there we go. So, where would you like to start? Shall we start with this? Is I am merely the person that clicks the buttons. You are going to control it. How would you like to start? Would you like to start with your 24 packs or your merits, or would you like to chop and change?
So here's my story. I have a lot. I kind of collect all the purples, but because of a long break from the game, there are a lot of purples that I'm missing.
Mm.
And I still need stars on. So I'm thinking probably start with the merit packs. Might get a 4th star and a purple. And then if we go over to the premium pulls and get a behold, we'll know not
Okay.
to pick that person.
That sounds like a good idea. So we are going
Sounds
to...
logic.
Sounds logic. So for those listening to the podcast, I do apologise. We're going to click through some packs. And while I'm doing that, I'm hoping our gracious co-hosts can fill for time. So let's begin
So,
it.
how many merit packs do you have? 3 to the 4th power, something like that.
Something like that.
Sorry, before I answer, I'm assuming you don't want to keep any commons, uncommons, or rares.
That's correct.
That is correct. Okay.
But
good.
if a purple drops or
Yeah. We'll keep
Just
them.
leave it in her
Cool.
overflow. Make her close them all.
Yeah,
one
that's
by
fine.
one
You can do
with
that.
her-
Not your
I have
slave.
nothing else to do after the stream.
Yeah, okay. So we're pulling.
Now,
Ooh.
what
Oh, here we go.
doing
So first purple drop, Mirror Vic Fontaine.
while we're doing this, we
Cool.
signed off last week talking about Stars and Garters alternate account just for the stream, and we asked you guys to pitch in and help him decide on this Star Trek Day Be Gold that he's still got stashed up. So we won't be doing that until next week. So if you guys still have any opinions on Kirk versus Uhura versus Bones, you can throw that in the chat, and we'll have something put together for next week.
Yeah, we were going to try and do a handy-dandy live stream today, but unfortunately, various magnetic storms and mirror universes have collided, and it's just not feasible. But you will be getting recorded footage, and we're going to try and work something out for some live recording in the future, because I would like to show it off, because it's already off to a good start, that account. I like it. It's fun. I'm not going to turn into water. I refuse.
So are you completely free to play on that account, Stars?
Yes. Oh, I don't
You
want to
are.
spend any money on it.
Okay, that's
Um,
interesting.
It should be interesting to try, because so far I've already gotten 1 gold and 2 purples, thanks to very, very lucky pack pulling.
Yeah.
So
So who's your main, because it's interesting to talk about, we talk about the best crew and, where they rank among the best of the best, but you're at sort of like you're at the bottom ledges of things now. So you've probably got a purple or a gold that the Big Book crew have rated tier 9, tier 10, but it's probably an absolute star for you. And we've just had a purple.
Ooh, I need that Marsha.
Yeah, I was going to say, we just had a super rare Marsha has just dropped. So I will...
Marsha.
Yeah. 2019's
I think
event
that might be her
hero.
4th star.
Excellent.
ooh,
Yeah.
By the way, is it Marsha or Martia?
I cannot remember.
I don't think anyone actually says her name.
Is
Yeah.
this another Travers versus Travers situation?
This is the thing, is I don't think anyone actually says her name, because I don't think Kirk or McCoy ever call her by name, and she just gets disintegrated by the Klingon
Oh.
commandants. I'm pretty sure it's just like a...
Oh, he's on a voyage coming back too. Yeah, you can get rid of him.
Get rid of him. Okay. That was Disguised
No.
Chakotay just dropped.
I know, heartbreaking.
his mother did his haircut for him. So in terms of my ult, my number 1 all-star at the moment is Lieutenant Commander Jadji. That's the gold version.
Ooh. Yeah.
Who... Yeah, I was really lucky, because I think when you hit level 10 or something, they give you a free 10 times premium, and they go, hey, go for it, and you're like, oh, it'd really be cool if I got gold, and then I got a gold, and I was like, what? And she's at level 30, and she's already my number 1 side base by a massive margin, and my number 1 dip base as well, so
There you go.
very, very lucky on that account. not very lucky in other respects. But...
Age of Sail LaForge has just dropped, and we are down to 63,000 merits. So.
Oh.
Do you have?
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no! What's this? Oh no!
30
Oh.
demoralized.
Tactical Officer Neelix.
I cited him like a month ago.
Oh no! He's a dupe. You're joking. Oh no!
All right. I'm dipping him.
Yeah.
I'm dipping him. I could do a lot worse, right?
Too right.
Yeah, guess what? You could do a lot worse.
Ooh.
By the way, Skycap is renowned for her love of the Voyager series. I think a Voyager crew will serve her well.
That's a good one.
What are we looking at here?
So that's the second gold in 2 pulls?
That is.
Come on now.
I mean, was that consecutive?
3.
I think narrate it properly.
Sorry, yes, for the podcast list. Sorry, yes. Just too excited. So we've just had Tactical Officer Neelix just drop, which unfortunately is a dupe for yourself. We now have Musketeer LaForge has just dropped from a merit pull.
Wow.
He's not too bad.
Muskie.
He's got a few good traits. He's saying he's tier 4, 5.
Do you have him already?
I do not.
Hey. So,
I like him in the Gauntlet.
yes.
I don't have a lot of LaForges generally.
Wow, that's
Why
amazing.
not? He's such an affable fellow.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, this is already win-win for you. This is like.
It's pretty good.
This is
Don't say win-win. We're gonna get Rogue Kai Win to drop this.
Triple.
It'll just be a Vedic
Triple
win.
Shinzon. I would love to see that. Just like a merit pool, Shinzon.
See, now.
I would
now.
die and go to heaven.
I was going to say, you
I
need to
would-
talk about your Shinzon obsession now.
Yeah, I'm secretly hoping, and you guys are going to kick me off and never let me on again, but I'm secretly hoping for a Shinzon drop or a Shinzon Behold.
What about a
Okay.
Shinzon
Because
campaign?
who doesn't want Tom Hardy in their game?
I was going to ask, is it because of Shinzon the character, or is it because of Tom Hardy? And it's like, if it's because of Tom Hardy, that's an actual good reason.
I'll buy that. I'll allow it.
I allow it.
Okay, we're down to 55,000 merits, so we're burning
Right.
through.
2 golds in there. I
That
love
is
it.
pretty
Are
good.
we just gonna cut this out of the podcast or what? Everyone's like,
I
I'm
meant-
just watching the merits fly
was
by
gonna
on the
say-
screen. And...
I think I may have to.
Don't die. Yeah,
I could probably
maybe.
do that. I need to edit the audio anyway, so.
I
Maybe.
was just going to say that I have an unhealthy addiction to doing merit pools because I've gotten some really good, some really bad results out of them in the past. Like I think I've got a star on Chancellor Laurel, and I think we've got some real garbage. Like I got Captain Scott out of a merit pool once, and it's a case of, well, I didn't have him, so
I did get
Chef
Chef Riker.
above 4,000 merits. Chef Riker, that's another one. I got out of that.
Oh,
Lives in
wow.
merit pools.
Serena,
Oh, wow, nice.
Serena Douglas has just dropped. Super rare.
I believe, I don't believe I have her finished.
Okay,
That's excellent.
perfect.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
Skycap, tell us about your timeline's journey because I know you have a first to max on a pretty old crew, and you played years ago and then sort of dropped it and came back. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I did. I started playing, I think, in February 2016. So very close to launch,
Wow.
but not quite at launch. And the game was totally different back then, and progress was so much slower back then. But yeah, I had the first to max on RX Soong.
You do, yes. Actually, I forgot to mention. Yeah,
Wow, who is that? 1-0 or
that is
0-1?
1-0.
Oh, very nice. Did you know that just
Don't
by
get it
looking at
wrong.
him?
Unfortunately, I did.
Wow.
Because I'm collecting them as well. My secret shame. The only reason I know that is because I'm building 1-0 using him as the base and using the 0-1, so I'm used to. Yeah, okay. Carry on, please. Please carry on.
That's
By the way,
traumatic.
Box upon your houses.
photographic proof that
Oh,
Skycap
look, there he is.
Oh,
Did
wow.
first to
you?
max on RX Soon.
Oh, beautiful.
Got another one.
Yeah, that was back in the old days. That was before there were citations, before there was a replicator. You had to just get 4 copies of the guy and level him
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah, that was on
that was pretty
May
exciting.
10th of 2016.
there you go.
Wow. You just had Soulbore. Soulbore has dropped. Is that something you-
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This
Yeah.
is working out
R.I.P.
well for you.
Soulbar.
He tried to stop Ducat from destroying the Bajoran people, and what did he get
Yeah.
for his trouble?
I thought you were going to say
Knife in the
destroy
back.
something very different, and I was very worried.
Tried to stop Ducat from doing something untoward.
Guess
No,
what?
I'm a-
That was the most unholy relationship ever. Like, people like to talk about like the dangerous liaisons of Star Trek, and it's like, oh, is it Data and Borg? No, it's it's Kai Wynn and Dukat. That is the ugliest, grossest pairing of people I can imagine.
Cardassian lies.
Don't worry, Nurse Ratchet. Your time will come.
Okay, we'll continue on.
So
39,000.
what's the honor at least?
I'm
Seeing
gonna-
some nice 300 honor or
Yeah.
600 honor.
You're nearly up to 200. Well, you've just hit 250,000 honor.
Beautiful.
Bonza.
So that's something.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's timing.
ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyrion possessed
What's
Kess.
this?
So for those that don't know,
Yeah, you can
she
just
is.
business them all.
Do you need her? Because as I say, you've completed
No,
your
I do
campaign,
not.
haven't you? Yeah, she was just in the campaign,
Yep.
which still is. So you
Yeah.
do not need that.
Shia Porn brings up a good point. Are you sure you don't need Tuvix or the Duras sisters?
I have finished them, yes.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can always go back
Good
and get them
shout,
out.
though.
So you've got.
That's true, yeah. I mean, even the purples, if you want to save time and get rid of them, I can go dig for them.
That's fun. I'll do. I hate digging for purples in the airlock, so I'll keep them out.
Look at Mrs. Moneybags has so many free crew slots she can just go dig stuff out of the overflow.
Wow, for the first probably year of playing this game, I mean, obviously after the shuttles, but all my extra dilithium went to crew slots. Because I was doing that thing where I didn't want to airlock any purples ever. And that really takes a toll.
It hurts doing that, but to be fair, it pays off in the long run.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Are we allowed to have someone on the show that doesn't pull copious amounts of six packs? I think that's in the contract for the show.
If you've not spent
I
15k
haven't
on one
done
crew,
that
you
in
want.
a while. The last one I
But
did
you
that
have
was
done it.
15 six-pack. I have done it, it's true. And it was my shame.
No, come on. We had
It didn't
Stella.
even
We had
work
Stella
out.
on. Stella, who made her one and only pack pull for the Culber 1701 Bashir and Riker Odan pack. That was her one thing because she could
Guess
do
what?
no
That's
wrong.
one of the best.
Yeah.
No, you
Double
couldn't
check.
can't go wrong there.
Now we are in contract negotiations with Stella to get her back on around Thanksgiving time. So if you
Ooh.
are a VIP fanatic, keep your eyes open for that.
So we got an Admiral Ross.
Yeah.
I have finished him, but I do like to see purples. That's a little extra honor.
Okay, do you want me to just dismiss him?
Yeah, you can just
He's
get rid
gone.
of
He's
him.
gone. Cool.
Get rid of him.
You don't want to dupe Admiral Ross then.
So question, we're going to be doing merit pools. You've got some premium pools saved up. Are we doing credit pools as well, or are we going to find that too?
I think.
You're gonna lose your entire audience if. I think. I
Because
mean,
that's
look at
like,
it.
what's more, like 24 million credits? Like, I'm looking at that like, I got a boot fee out of one of those last week.
In theory, nice, but we will be here all day.
It's true, it's true.
We've got to save some fun for you.
I think I've known Skycap for about 3 years now. So half of these crew, she and I have discussed at length before. I remember Admiral Ross during his event.
Oh yeah.
She asked me if he's worth it or not, and I said, "Well, he's kind of garbage, but he's a diplomat." So I think we probably discussed all these crews so far.
Probably. Yeah.
Down to 20,000 merits now. So final leg.
Nice.
I think 2 golds. 2 golds out of this many packs is pretty good.
Yeah, I'm.
This is
I'm
And
happy with
they're
that.
pretty decent golds.
Definitely.
This thing
Or-
is- could have been worse.
Oh yeah, 2 good ones.
We've got Gorn Captain just dropped. Do you need him?
I don't.
You don't. He is
Um,
gone. Bye bye. Back to Vasquez Rocks.
Double cork. Or not.
I will get. I think Auto set me a challenge because he found out I had an accordion in my loft. He said, "You need to play that theme on the accordion next time." I think, "Yeah, okay, all right."
Didn't know about the accordion.
It's sitting in my loft. I got it from my wife's grandmother.
Oh.
She's like,
WRG Ben says so many merits, and then he's like laughing on the floor.
Yeah,
"Hi Ben."
Ben, I think you guys are giving us too many merits in the campaign. You might want to dial it back a little bit.
What are you doing?
Maybe replace it with
What?
blue trainers or something. I think that'd be a
What are
great
you
addition.
doing?
Pretty sure that's a war crime suggestion. Man.
Blue trainers.
Oh,
blue
okay. Ambassador
Ooh,
Spock.
Ambassador Spock.
Yeah?
I need him. That's the 4th star for him.
Perfect. There's been a lot of 4th stars here.
Now I get to level him.
Oh yeah, unlucky.
I don't suppose we could segue into the 6-pack off of Ambassador Spock. Oh wait, you're on her account. Just go pull a couple packs.
Yeah,
for
sure.
her
I'll just
in
spend
the
your.
soft spot.
Yeah, no, that's never paid off badly before.
I'm not Auto. I'm a conscientious host. We only pay hijinks on each other.
So I don't
We're in
know.
the
This is
final
probably
stretch.
going to come up. Oh, no, up to you.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying we're in the final stretch now with
We are
8,000
8,000.
merits
Yeah,
left.
8,700.
It does burn quickly with merits.
It does.
I'm sure this is going to come up when we talk about Valar, but affable ambassadors, and then you include Ambassador Spock, who is toting a gun, Ambassador Savall, who is one of the biggest Vulcan dickbags in the entirety of Star Trek history. Maybe two-thirds.
I'd love
I
how
was
Archer
trying
just
to
gone
think
from
of
you're just a
another
Vulcan
word, and I was-
dickbag.
Guess what? That's Enterprise Season 1. Take it
That's-
from an
yes,
expert.
that's true.
Enterprise Season 1.
That is. So Val, why don't you just go eat a bag of dicks?
Like, let's not forget that in Episode 1, like, how does our intrepid captain meet his first officer? Oh, he threatens to punch her in the face and knock her on her ass, verbatim.
There you go.
Guess what? It's not a great
Okay.
start.
That's how you
No.
really feel.
2 more merit packs.
2 more merits. All right, come on, Gold.
Okay, last one,
Start out there.
735.
You bring me to 10 merits.
No, so you're down to 10
Oh.
merits. So, 2 golds out of 80,000 merits is, considering it's merit packs, I think that's pretty good.
And a fair
I'm
amount
pleased
of
with
honor.
that. That's a lot of honor, too.
That's a very lot of honor. You're now up to 261,000, so that's pretty. Or 226k? No. 2.6k.
That's 2.6k.
Yeah. So for those that don't know,
Hey.
I think this guy came up with a very fantastic way of measuring honor in terms of how many
I
Carluses
think
you
it
can
was
buy
General
with it.
Sedanian.
Oh, was it Genos who did that? So Genos Sedanian came
Yeah.
up with how many Carluses you can buy. So every 100,000 you honor is 1k. So you have 2.6k now. Shall we dig into these
Beautiful.
premium packs?
Yes, let's do
Yes, let's do it. So 24.
Gen-
it.
here.
Money, no whammy.
Okay, let's go.
Now,
And I won't
really
do.
want her to beat. I
won't
want
do
her to
full
be able
speed.
to beat Ben's record from when he was on, because he went 5 and then he got a
Oh
goal.
yeah,
Five straight drops in a row. Oh,
he did. Oh yeah, he had some bad luck. That was quite amusing. Oh, here we go.
ooh,
So
double B hole.
Ooh,
okay, well this speaks for itself.
tough one here.
Okay, so Frozen Wharf, 3 or 4 star Jake, or Frozen Chapel. I think this is going to be a Jake for you, isn't it?
I think we're gonna go with the Jake.
We are going to go with a Jake.
And that-
Tony Todd at his
which
finest.
chapel is that?
A Chapel.
Commander.
Yes. Okay, so we
red or
have
blue.
3 or 4 LaForge, 1 or 4 Paris, or 3 or 4 Pink.
Well,
Who
we
would you
just
like?
got that LaForge in the merit pack, right?
Yeah.
So he's a 404 LaForge.
Oh, that's true. Yes, you're right.
I
So
believe.
we're looking at
So
Paris or Pink.
Pink.
So what do? I have 1 evolved Janeway. I have 1 out of 5.
Fully fused? Oh, okay.
So
Might be worth banking him then.
we're taking Paris, right?
It's your
Up to you.
account. When
Yeah, but
you
you guys
spend
are
your bill.
you guys are the experts. I think I gotta go
The
Paris.
thing is, yeah,
I would-
because
I
Pink
would
is a
build
good
the
card,
lizard.
but I don't think he'd do much
Yeah.
for you right
Yeah. Okay. We'll
Yeah.
take Paris. You have Paris, so that's
Yeah.
pretty
He
good.
is a Jeffrey Coombs, though.
now. Emphasis on the.
From the great episode of Voyager that they will someday give us the Hirogen fighter from that episode, right?
Yeah.
Pandari
that's true, yes.
champion with the
Yes.
rock.
Oh, we need that. The
Him, but also the Hirogen.
okay.
Please. Thank you.
Pack number 2. Straight drop. 9 as well.
I have a special affection for the Hirogen just because of Elite Force. Because I recall, I think it's in
yes.
level 4 or 5. You have this really cool Quake style like one-on-one fight, and he just plays the same like voice clip over and over again, and it's "I am the hunter, you are my prey." And it's like just that is burnt into my cranium,
That's
and I
brilliant.
have a special affection for the Hirogen because of that.
Do you need 9 as ROM?
I do need him. I believe that's the last star for him.
Perfect. You're getting lots of last stars. This is just
This is
this is
great.
fate. This is
Yeah, keep
fantastic.
it coming.
And that's a +1 on that collection as well. But
It is, yeah.
Okay, so we've no straight drop here. So who have we got?
Ooh, another
Ooh.
double B hole.
So you've got a choice of 7 of 9
This
regular,
is-
assimilated LaForge, or Discovery number 1. This is a nice little
Oh.
pack here. There's all sorts of benefits to either.
So 7 is a gauntlet crew, right?
only.
More importantly, 7 is a Voyager crew.
She is also a Voyager crew, which makes this a little more
Oh,
difficult.
that's true. You do have an affinity for Voyager crew, don't you?
I really do, and yeah, that's a great 7.
But that number 1 is pretty good.
Number 1 though, right?
Yeah.
She's a tank. I love her.
Simulator
Yeah,
LaForge does have Gauntlet Pair. He gets a 65%, am I right?
I've already
And he's got
passed
double
it
collections.
before, and I
think
don't
triple,
regret it.
actually.
More
Yeah.
brutal human.
What would you like? Go with your heart or go with your stats?
Well, talk me through it. So, how much better is number 1 than 7 stats?
Well, it depends.
By the
It's
tune of
apples to
300
oranges.
voyage ranks.
It's apples to oranges because 7 is for Gauntlet. Number 1 is for primarily voyages and perhaps discovery events.
Well, she also has a tiny bit of Gauntlet because like the Dip Engine, although that's less applicable now that Red Angel is a thing.
We've been talking about 7 of 9 recently. I've been running her in a few gauntlets, and she's just really been disappointing these days. I think Red Angel is taking a bite out of her. Obviously, Caretaker does. If you love her, I'm sure you can find use. She gets 45% now and again, but I would.
I think my
steer
gut
away
is
from
telling
her.
me. Yeah, I think my gut is telling me number 1. I just built and cited Cheesecake 7, so I've got a great 7 right now. The scratch that itch. So I think number 1.
Go
Are you
number
a
1.
Vanity
My question-
collector.
I am not a
Number
vanity
Number 1 is
collector.
Mystique. Number 1 is
That's
Mystique.
true.
What could you
She
want?
is Mystique. That's true. She's
Okay.
yeah,
me
she's
the-
super cool.
Show me the real number 1. I said the real number 1.
Your final answer. Number 1, yes?
Number 1.
Number 1. Make it so.
Number 1 is my final.
Okay, we've still got
Ah,
another-
she's great.
Still got another thing here.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
All frozen behold.
Take Worf. Take Worf.
All right, we're going
Take
Worf.
Take Worf.
Worf. Yep, right. We'll go Worf. Do you want me to airlock him or do you want to keep him for dupe? For events?
I'll keep him for stars.
Okay.
If I can convince one more person to take one more Worf into their hearts, then I've done a good deed this day.
You've definitely turned my opinion on him just because I'm just like, well, I'll keep a few extra Worfs. Why not? Keep them handy. Right, that's not too many packs. We've done well here.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm just-
He's
I-
just so handsome.
Straight drop
Yeah, Salt
M113
Creature, I need-
creature.
I need that salt creature. I think that's the final star.
Perfect.
By the way, the M113 creature is from the second episode of The Man Trap of TOS. Now, there's a scene in there, and I can never find the GIF when I need it. Sorry, GIF when I need it. Kirk is being fired on the planet's surface, and he does this little zigzag move into a tuck and roll, and it is like the funniest. Like they teach you to not do that in stage combat class. So if you ever watch that episode, go watch Kirk try to do the zigzag. It's hilarious.
Did they
Ben,
also teach you not to do the double-fisted punch?
No, that's the most effective strike. The overhand chop, the chop.
Okay,
Wick-
tell me if I'm imagining this wrong, because I feel like that double fist punch turned up in either Picard or Discovery, and I was really happy when it did.
Oh, I'd have to. I think maybe
like it did.
Discovery. I don't
It
know.
must
mate.
I think maybe
Yeah.
Burnham did one, and I was like, yeah!
Yeah.
I remember Kira doing it in Deep Space Nine.
Wicked Realm Ben, you know,
Oh, yeah.
our very
Kira
friend
loves
Ben
doing that
from
move, it's
chat,
the best.
our very good friend Ben from chat says, Auto, you want loot trainers instead of merits, coming right up.
Look, Ben, if you ever hope to come back to the prestige that is Timeline Talks,
The #1 exclusive
Oh.
premium stream.
Platinum selling. Okay, next pack.
He does not speak for the
Ooh.
community.
Ooh,
Resi-
unrecognizable Chakotay. I need him.
Resolute
Yeah, he's
Chakotay,
been
straight drop.
stung by a wasp.
Does he?
Shia says that the double fist punch appeared in Discovery during the fight with Arium. Thank you. I feel validated.
Beautiful.
Nice. Okay. Pack number 19. Arex. Straight drop.
Keep him.
Keep him.
He's a
See,
keeper.
it's nice to see someone that gets straight drops they can use.
It's a really nice place to be in the game.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, early on, these were all like really core cards for me. To have a fully fused or a close to fused purple was like really doing a lot of work for me, and now I'm just collecting them, which is also really fun.
It must
Make a
also
new
make
assumption.
going for the event packs a lot more feasible, because it's a case of when I look at an event pack, I go, I have both of these purples, I'm shooting for a gold, I have very little chance of getting them. Whereas you look at it and go, oh, I need all of these. Oh.
Here we go. So,
Gold.
so we have Ziantara Odo, we have Lieutenant Wesley Crusher, and I cannot remember which Tyler variant is
Tyler,
that.
son of none.
Tyler, son of
Son
none.
of none.
None with stars. So, think it's got to be Odo, isn't it?
It's gotta be Odo.
Okay, so I have to say here that I took a long break from the game, so some of the new cards like that Tyler are new to me. Because they dropped while I was not playing the game.
He's
I know that
Command
Odo
Dipsec,
used to be
so-
very, very strong for a very long time. I know that Wesley is no good. But I don't know about
No
the
Wesley's.
Tyler.
No Wesley's
He
are
is-
good.
He's your standard command upset. His top base is 1129. He's got a couple interesting traits like gambler, survivalist, tactician, but not much anywhere else. No gauntlet, no arena. So you're kind of counting on him
Okay.
for Tyler or discovery events.
Yeah.
He's very handsome, but that's about all he's got going for
He
him.
is very good looking.
It's Clem
So
Fandango.
he's the automaton 2000 of the show. I understand.
If anyone's
Yeah,
watched
sure,
Toast
but-
of London, you should watch Toast of London because he's in it. Have you seen it, Stars?
Clem Fandango. Can
Yeah,
you hear
thank
me?
you.
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
Clem Fandango. Sorry. Okay, so Odo.
So it's got to be Odo. It's gotta be
Unless
Odo.
anybody wants to speak for Tyler, I think I go Odo, right?
Up to you. Your
Odo
choice.
for Renee.
For Renee and for a really good episode as well. I love that episode. Yes,
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, he's super cool.
There's some
Alright,
great
Odo.
Zientara cards we could have from that episode. You know, the Quark one especially would be great. Okay,
No,
so
Cisco.
and Cisco. Yes.
Oh, wait, no, that's a different episode.
No, it's that
No,
episode.
yeah.
It's Duran Cisco. Yeah,
Oh, is it? Yeah, the Duran Belong.
yeah
or
where
whatever.
he's hitting the force field. It's amazing. Love
That's
it.
a good one.
Okay, so Odo confirmed. Yeah,
Odo, final answer.
we're there.
Or to do my
Good
French.
check.
Dun, and the lights come down.
Is that your
Hold on now.
answer?
Yeah, if we're playing that show, then she's gonna have to pull the audience at some point. So
Phone a friend.
I think the next.
I
the
haven't
next
even been
few
looking
will-
at chat. Have they been voting?
Yeah, a little
Oh,
bit.
they're
Yeah.
not basically kind of following us.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any. I haven't seen many.
Okay.
No real upsets.
Okay, so we've got a behold coming.
You haven't had any particularly awful crew yet for them to go. Yeah, take that.
Okay, so 4-star Giorgio, Alik Om 2-star, Blood Oath Jadzia Dak 2-star. So Alik or Dax?
That animated series that's so great. But you know, they recently redid the art on Dax, and I really appreciate that. So I think Dax.
Dax.
I really like the art on her. Yeah,
No.
she's great.
And it's a Dax. Dax is a surefire hit, you know. There's no such thing as a bad Dax, isn't that right, Auto?
I think we just summoned Stellar. Summoned
Yeah, I think Stellar's
with
probably watching, and
There
she
she
would
is.
have kicked me onto Discord.
Just spotted her in the chat. Jadzia!
Okay. WRG Ben asks, any guesses for next week's campaign crew, 4-star and 5-star? Now that's an interesting
It's
one.
got to be Spock, hasn't it?
Provocative.
It's teasing Spocktober, so I think if that's not the theme of the Mega, and then at least it's going to be part of the
Yeah.
campaign.
Now
Ah.
I'm gonna throw my I've mentioned this before. I want it to be Spocktoberfest Spock, and then Drunk Spock as a 4-star.
Drunks?
just
Oh,
Spock on the
okay,
ground,
yeah,
like-
yeah.
So he's got beer steins in each hand, right?
Exactly. You get a matching pair. What could be better?
Brilliant.
Timeline's originals.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
Deja E. What is that? The Klingon
Any
drinking
excuse
song?
Okay. Okay. So
Smell
fate.
by-
Oh,
hey.
so
The fates have aligned. We have a Frozen Donatra, we have a 3 or 4-star Grand Nagus Neelix, and another Blood Oath Jadzia Dax. I think that speaks for itself.
that I should go ahead and finish Dax.
Up to you.
In
not
this-
influencing
so
you.
Because I'm collecting purples, what I usually do is whoever I have the fewest stars on the Behold is who I go with, because then eventually somebody's going to drop on a voyage. I might not have them finished. In this situation, both Neelix and Dax are unfinished, or sorry, 3 out of 4, so they're going to be finished. I'm going to go with Dax because I know Stellar might be watching or might watch later.
She's screaming Jadzia in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's please our future overlord.
There are 2 uniformed, muscly men trying to drag her away from the stream, and she's Jad!
She's just going to come on stream next time. You motherfuckers!
Hey, it's the family show, you bastard.
Oh, is it? Who told you that? Our demographic is 35 to 40. Oh.
Oh!
1 of 5 Abraham Lincoln in Glatu. 0 stars. Or Tempted Data.
Now, guys, imagine how bad that Behold was that I took Lincoln the first time around.
Well,
and I'm
he is.
probably going to do it
Do you
again.
remember?
He is a
I,
diplomat.
actually, I do remember, and I'm not going to tell you who one of the other choices was. Somebody who I didn't have a particular affinity for, and that Lincoln is so WTF that I just.
You've got to tell. You can't tease us like that. You've got to tell us. We won't judge you.
So I
too
think
much.
I'm glad to. I think in this situation I got a fuse because neither of the other two were really doing much for me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You say that, but I got a lot of mileage out of that data as an event piece, and before we had an influx of dip end, she was holding that down for me. He's aged like milk, but he's still a data.
But then, when was the last time we had a good faction data event? We've been thinking about it, like ever since we had Pup Card, Picard number 1. Ever since we had that, I've been thinking, I'm going to level up all my datas and all my Picards because of the Picard show, and it's, we've had nothing.
So I believe you need. We just counted this yesterday. I've already forgotten. I think you need 26 gold diplomat crew to complete the collection as of right now.
Going.
And Lincoln is a diplomat and inspiring collection as well. So
I like where that's going. Yeah, I have Data the Fifth. I have Pinafore data. I think I might have another 1 or 2 gold datas. I just don't think that this card is going to do anything for me at 1 out of 5, and I'm never going to cite him.
Now, I see your point, but resistance is futile. Smash the plasma tube. Amazing.
That was a great moment.
Yeah.
It's a one-liner. You never get to hear Data say one of that. So I'm going to say, just on basis of, I do love the art, I love the scene, I have sentimental attachment, I'm going to vote Data, but I can feel where your heart
okay,
lies.
you've heard from the devil and the angel, but you have to choose.
But you haven't heard from Inglatu.
He's just standing there in his underpants, or his overpants.
Go on, make a decision. Who do you
I'm
want?
pretty sure I saw this.
Final
I
say.
want to fuse that Lincoln. I'm going all the way with this Lincoln.
Oh, Okay, right, Lincoln it is.
Yay!
You have a 2 of 5 Lincoln. Hey, no, you know what? You cite who you love. If you love that episode.
And if Sky Cap loves Lincoln, then okay. I will not judge.
That's patriotism.
I mean,
for
he's
you.
no Shinzon, but
Give it time. Give it time.
You're growing, you.
I've never seen anyone with so few straight drops before. This is
Yeah, this is unremarkable. So
It's
we've got
okay.
all Frozen Behold, essentially. Who would you like to the honour of either being
Seven.
air
Data crew, surely.
7. Come
Seven.
on.
no changeling.
No, okay. Do you want me to airlock her, or would you like to keep her about?
Yeah, you can go ahead there, Lucker. Just
Big-
to speed it up.
Big money, no
Absolutely
change.
adore that episode, by the way. Relativity is one of the best Voyager episodes. Changed my mind.
Oh yeah. Well,
Great.
Captain
Yeah,
Braxton
well-
from there. We need Lieutenant Duquesne from Relativity. He would
It's
be
true, we
great.
do.
Just had a straight drop of Mira Kellier. Kellier.
I believe you can. I think you can
Kayla.
just
Kayla.
everybody here.
Kalar.
What would you like, Kayla?
You can. I think I finished her. You can.
Perfect.
Just
She's
miss
Wolf's
everybody.
baby mama. I know how to pronounce her name. Thank you very much.
She
Halfway
may or
through.
may not be your upcoming mirror collection, so who knows?
The rumours say. Straight drop of Rogue Harry Kim.
Now, Rogue Harry Kim is a good mule for 2-star science experiments,
That is right.
as
at level
second
5.
place faction winner DC Pilot pointed out. But I think I
You
have
said
one.
You said Rogue Harry Kim is a good, and I was like, now hold on there. And then you went in the right direction.
Yeah. Should keep him back for now, and then you can decide.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay, what are we down to? Not 11 packs.
His
Beautiful.
episode though is one of the best.
Oh,
That
easily.
was, yes, very good.
Timeless.
Like the intro alone of Voyager crashing into the ice planet is like I can definitely see why I got ooh.
See, for the podcast listeners, it's going to be interesting because you're going to be mid-sentence and we're talking about blah, blah, blah. Ooh.
Oh my god.
So we have a Frozen Marquee row. We have Claiborne Chekhov. I don't know how you say that. 3 of 4.
cares?
Or Roman Captive, Tier 2 Captive Kirk at 1 of 4 stars. Dealer's choice.
So my rule here is I would take Kirk.
But one is
You
in a
don't want to get
collection
another
and the
Knox
other
Wood
one isn't.
Western?
Yeah, so here's
I'll
West.
get a 4th copy of Chekhov one someday.
Okay.
Sure.
Kirk then.
Not chomping at the bit for him, huh?
Not really. That's a very
Vance
cute
Kirk.
Yeah,
I like the
it's
Kirk and the
Chris
clock
Evans
and the-
style Kirk.
Alright, we'll go Kirk. We think we've got another Behold coming, so let's have a look.
Beautiful.
That's Canada's ass.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
interesting. Ah, so we have massive face tattoo Chakotay, or warship Chakotay.
Is it the
Aviator
tattoo?
Mayweather. What's his name? Tuskegee Mayweather and Indignant 7.
I hate that zoom in so much.
Did you said you'd cited Cheesecake 7 to 5 or 5? Would you
I
be?
did.
Will you?
So I'll just collect 7 as a purple.
Okay.
She's
Perfect.
a really good faction piece. I actually quite like her just for that, even without the fusing ability.
It's
And
so
board
nice to pull.
collection if you haven't finished it.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
Yes.
nice to
Uh,
see an account that pulls super rare crew that can actually use them. It's lovely. I remember those days. We're living through you, Sky. You do realise this.
Oh,
Vicariously, violently.
Okay, straight drop,
it'd
Vulcan
be a
wedding to
pretty bad
pole.
show otherwise.
Straight drop, Vulcan wedding to pole.
I think you can get rid of her, and if I need her, I'll get her back out. I don't
Okay.
remember.
Okay, where are we up to? So last 9 packs to go. Oh,
We've got a
and
pretty good ratio of golds here, I have to say.
definitely, this has been good. So we got a straight drop of Commander to pole.
I don't know why T'Pols aren't very memorable to me, but I don't remember if I finished her or not.
I'll keep her.
Um,
You could airlock her later
She's
though.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a very old card.
I'm
She's
kind
quite
of,
hard to build.
jealous
if
of
I
all
remember.
your Picard Eladrels because, like, I have him at 2 out of 3, and I really need to finish him, and he just refuses to drop for me.
Oh.
Straight drop Pugilist Q.
Pugilist Q. I have a bone to pick with that card. Yeah, I finished him. You can
Okay.
airlock everybody.
You were about to say I haven't finished him, but airlock him anyway.
Cisco did nothing wrong.
It's actually
Okay.
true.
Ooh.
All right,
Ooh. Mirror Spock, Krell no set, both 0 stars, or 1 of 5 Chancellor Gorkon. So Krell Set has a decent gauntlet chance. Mirror Spock, very good arena ability if I recall correctly, but you do have the 1 star on the Gorkon, who is another diplomat.
And he's also David Warner, I believe his
Oh.
name is. He's an amazing Trek alumni.
Spocktober.
I was just thinking about
That's
Spocktober.
true.
Now that particular version of Spock would look very good in Lederhosen. Like, you know how, like, Tuskegee Mayweather is just that, the 1-star Mayweather's face on a different body? Put that Spock face on Lederhosen Spock. You've got it.
I'm with
You've got
you.
it.
I'm with you.
Have I sold you on this?
I feel like some of your criteria for picking crew are slightly different.
Guess what? I have ascended to the take the crew you like, not the ones that are going to do a
Take the crew who look good in Lederhosen.
Yeah.
It's a better criteria than most.
Oh, that's it. Change the entire roster. Change the entire Big Book formula. Do they look good in Lederhosen Tier 1? Okay.
Oh, now hold on. Ben is in chat stumping for Spock, and maybe he knows something that we don't know. So
He's going
If
Spock.
not, if that's a red herring, I'm gonna go all over the forums in October and complain about how he made me get Mirror Spock.
don't worry, we got your back. We'll blackball him from this show.
We'll do you one better. Well, next time he comes on, we'll get you on as well. And you go, hang on a minute. Got a bone to pick.
You know what? So I've already given you the Lederhosen angle. The chat is giving you the Spocktober angle. I'm going to give you a third and point out he counts as Vulcan, and he may well count for a future mirror collection which has been teased.
Ah.
Excellent points.
That's all we got. That's your
Yeah,
only
go on.
option.
Da-da-doo-doo.
I have nothing to say about Musset. He's a very, very old card. I love Gorkon. I have him 4 out of 5, and I keep on thinking, I should probably sign him up for the collection, but
Gorkana, he's a strong Voyager, isn't he? Or am I thinking of another Klingon?
he debuted at like 50 or something like that, and now he's like,
I must be thinking of Koloth or somebody.
yeah,
no,
you're right.
Hunter's
He might be.
Koloth is very good. I think Gorkon's around rank 130 or so.
Yeah.
Mm.
I really like that Spock. Spocktober is coming.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, I
Lederhosen.
want Spock.
Well,
Spock,
but you
yeah.
could
And the later
you could
husband.
flaunt Ben and pick someone else just to incur his wrath.
The thing is, like, if I had the opportunity to add a star, none of the other options are doing it for me, then fine. But I do like that Spock, and I had him on my original account from his original email fiasco. So
Okay,
yeah,
your final answer, is it Mirror Spock?
Mirror Spock.
Mirror
Final
Spock.
answer.
All right, there we go. There
We
is. So
come
we've
around a bit on that card too. Oh, hang on, we got another
got
behold.
another one. Okay, so it's all frozen.
All frozen.
All frozen. Who would you like to
What a
airlock?
builder.
Neelix.
Neelix. Of course. Voyager. Come
Yeah.
on, guys.
Voyager crew,
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, good point. Good point. All
Didn't
right,
have to
carry on.
ask.
Let me just dismiss these.
Yeah, someone points out that Gorkon does have ship damage, but as DC Pilot rightly points out in return, it's extremely slow and on a cloak trigger, I believe, because it is very similar to Rurapente Kirk, but cards like that who used to rule the roost no longer do, thanks to the auto change for ship elves.
Yeah, that makes it really tricky to line up cloak with a cloak trigger.
You lucky.
Whoa!
Okay, so we have you've already immortalized Fury Kess,
I wouldn't
so she's
mind
5/5.
She wouldn't mind a second one.
Oh
I
well, we
love
also
that, I
have.
love that card so much. Yeah, go on.
We do also have 0 stars on
Arachnia.
Arachnia Janeway, or 2 of 5. Which Uhura is that? Isn't Nyota and
Nyota.
Nyota
yeah.
Uhura. Since you're a Voyager fan, I think you got to complete the Arachnia. I think that's, I mean, as good as a second Fury Kess would be.
Guys, I can't tell you how much I love that Kess card. I got her prior to the honor sale, and then I put all my sites from the honor sale on her. Not all of them, but I sided her up completely. And I've been using her in Gauntlet. I've been using her in Arena, obviously in skirmishes. She's voyaging for me.
She's
I adore
very
the
good.
art. She's my avatar now. I love her so much, and I don't have any other 6-second damage crew. Because I wasn't around for Darth.
So
I don't
you
have
could
any of
use
the
a second
others.
one on ships.
I
yeah.
actually could make the case for a second Kess.
Now, I can see where your heart is lying, but I should like to point out that that art on that Janeway is the reason to take it, but what a reason.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And she's Janeway and she's awesome. Yeah.
How many Lederhosen is that?
2 pans.
I mean, if you colorize that, I bet you it's the right colors.
You're right. I think you've got a collection piece in Janeway as well as Janeway event. I know what you feel about event potential, but Janeway events are regular as the moon.
Okay. I have a method here. I could convince you by just throwing random Bride of Chaotica quotes at you. Would that work?
No, but we want to hear it.
Power of the Death Ray.
It's pronounced. It's Death Ray, not Phaser. It's Imagizer, not View Screen. And make sure to vamp it up. Say the fiendish deviousness of your wicked plan is beyond compare, and then just Janeway going.
She's completely paralyzed at this point.
Man.
Take the third option. Take no.
Something about Star's pheromone.
She is. No, she doesn't even have a collection, so no. Let's not even look at Uhura or this one. Janeway or Kess. Okay, go with your heart. I if it was me, I'd go for Janeway.
I don't even know. My heart is telling me. I want them both.
For completion's sake, I'd probably go Janeway. But as you say, you don't have another 400% Gauntlet.
But I'm
Arena
getting
hitter.
I'm getting by fine in skirmish with
If you
an
take
8,
Janeway, you
6 and an
can
8.
line up her and Kess in the same bridge crew photo.
So you ranked 81st in this last skirmish, but you could have ranked
3 to the 4.
80th with another cat.
What's chat saying?
Let's have a look.
I love stars.
I should really
They
pay
might be
attention.
drunk.
I love you 271.
So we're seeing, Voyager crew Arachnia, seeing Janeway. You need a second big boomer. Janeway also has a collection. Maleficent Janeway for Spocktober.
Janeway
What?
for Spocktober. She does look a little bit Angelina Jolie Maleficent there.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah.
No.
Stella says I'd have taken Uhura, but that's the VIP way of always take the star.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Just
Janeway does have a collection, and I will point out that I don't think that Janeway diplomacy has a ton of options.
I think if you're looking at sort of future use, I think you will get some use out of that Janeway eventually.
Yeah.
But you want that second 400% hitter, and you love
I
Kess,
can't
you love the
concede
card.
will grow.
I do love the card. I'm not usually a huge fan of having dupes. What is
Oh, we're going to count down.
Janeway.
Janeway. Yep.
There
Final
you
answer.
Janeway.
All right, it's Janeway. It's done.
Convincing.
She's too cool. She's too cool.
It is a cool card.
She's ice cold.
Okay. All Frozen Behold for the second one.
No Voyager crew.
No Voyager crew. Who would you like to airlock?
I will take the brutal ambassador Kaler.
There you go. Brutal ambassadors.
No
Ambassador,
idea why she has
but
a
no
brutal trait.
diplomat.
Yeah, why is
But
she
not
brutal?
diplomat.
She's just a Klingon. That doesn't make her brutal.
She is brutal because of her violent put downs.
She did mate with
There you
Worf
go,
at
there's
one
your
point, right?
justification.
That's true. She did. So 5 packs left. 5 packs to go.
That's the most baffling thing I can think of. Put Pants Worf, my favourite.
Okay, you have a Frozen Stamets, reinforcement Stamets. You have 2 of 4, Silic, or a 3 of 4 Kim. Now, since you just got Arachnia Janeway, and it is a Voyager crew, has to be
And
the Kim.
Chaotica from the campaign a couple months ago.
This is Buster Kincaid Kim. by the way.
Yes, sorry, yes.
I'm going Silic.
You're going Silic. This is your take the lowest
Because
star.
of the, yep.
Yep. Okay, we'll go Silic.
Fair enough.
Silic is also just what a cool character in the show.
I do dig the actor for Silicon Enterprise. I kind of wish he had more to do, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, wasn't
a lot of
he the
his role in the
Romulan
show
in
was
DS9
I'm
too?
going to do this and then slink away through an air vent. And I kind of wish he was used better, but you know that's just the story of Enterprise in a
Wasn't he
nutshell.
a Romulan in DS9 as well?
Probably he has that kind of cadence.
Okay, 3 of 4 Kuros, Dominion Disguised Ducat 4 of 4, or
Jordan.
Frozen Tyler. This is easy. Kuros. Yep.
Who stands up?
Okay. Just in case, I don't know
Yeah,
if you're
good old,
duping Ducats or whatever.
If you're a big Seinfeld fan, then there you go. That's a win for you.
Right.
And another Voyager card.
Another Voyager card, indeed.
Mm,
Right.
she's
Do we
master
have
of
the entire
Ruby
think tank yet?
We have we're missing a couple.
No, we're
I
missing Hawks, the whale.
think.
And I think
Guess
also
what?
the
I
machine,
want that card.
the machine thing, and
Yeah.
then what's that? The alien species that they
And we've-
sticked on Voyager.
If we have Nomad, we've got to have the little machine thing as well. But
I'd love that.
we have Sourwin, who
Make that a
didn't.
collection.
Yeah. Okay, straight drop. Army Chaplain Odo.
Okay, he can go.
He can go. He has gone.
Yeah.
I have a slightly fond
Two left. Two
left.
place
Two
in
left.
my heart for that Odo, just because I made a really good pun in his big book note. That's the way I have to contribute there.
Okay, 3 of 4 Fencing Sulu,
Mm.
3 of 4 Grand Nagus Neelix, who we didn't take previously, did we? Or 4 for Tholian. So
No, we didn't know.
I think a sign says Neelix, doesn't it?
Neelix.
Voyager crew.
Voyager.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. Man, I love your Voyager rule. That's it makes things a lot easier.
Unless there's 3 Voyager people.
Yeah.
Oh, then it becomes like a
Voyager crew.
nightmare.
Okay. Let's see what we can do for the final one, for the final pack. Once I've finished airlocking all these crew for you. You're up to 2.7
Thank you.
2.7k here. You're 270,000 honor. So last pack, let's go. It's gonna be a straight drop, isn't it? And it is.
Yep.
Victorian Pulaski. Do you need her?
May as well keep her and I'll see.
Okay.
Yep.
So there we go. So let's see how you've done. You've done plummin' well.
What was that?
You
4
have
or
not
5
been
goals?
injured.
That's pretty good. You know,
That
I
was like
think,
6 or 7.
bearing in mind, so what are these premium
Out of
packs? They're sort of
24 packs.
these packs are all collected from campaigns, from
Yeah.
other things, from
Campaigns,
Galaxy Wins.
events,
So, you know, this
and
isn't
those
like
achievements we did.
it's not a 10 for 10. So let's just have a quick look at, if we go by level, let's see what you've got. What have you won today? Da, 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 da. Oh, I can't scroll down far enough. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Steam's not loading. Come on.
343 out of 315.
It's got to load all these images. Hang on. No, my Steam version has crashed. Hang on. Give it a second. Oh, yeah. You want to empty some packs there? Right. Let's have a look. Are you going to let me scroll? Yeah, here we go. Right. So. Oh, gosh. Hang on. What's it doing? Well, let's go down the bottom.
Oh no.
Now, there is a thread pinned in the Bridge sub-forum on Wicked Realm Games forums asking for help testing the Steam Beta 7.6 version.
This
So
actually is
if
the
you'd like
Steam
to
beta
avoid
as
the-
well.
Okay, well, they're getting some live feedback then.
They are indeed. So yeah, you've done pretty good considering you got Zintaro,
7 goals.
Tactical Neelix, Abraham Lincoln, Nice Janeway, Arachnia Janeway, Mirror Spock, Number 1, and Musketeer LaForge. And these are all these are maybe not Abraham Lincoln, but these are all fairly decent cards in their own way.
How dare you?
But no, and you've got a ton of extra cards
Yeah,
to
no,
fuse
yeah,
up, so
and a lot of I do have a lot of my Mortal Kombat up from a lot of.
so you have 6 days
Very
to
exciting.
empty your overflow. But, you know, I think that's a pretty good
That's
haul.
great.
I think it's pretty decent.
Well,
And you've got a ton of. Do your gauntlet. Oh.
you've got 10 merits to spend in Gauntlet.
I will leave it. There's only so many privileges I want to take here. Okay, let me stop
I think
screen share.
that's fantastic.
So yeah, how do you feel about that? I
feel great. It's always really fun to get a gold from merit packs because you should never really count on it. So when it happens, it's really exciting. So I got 2 from merit packs, and then there's 5 golds and 24 premium packs. I'm very happy with that.
That's a good.
And a lot of purple
very good
defaults.
ratio.
And bearing in mind, it took you what, a couple of months saving up for the merits, and
Yeah,
probably not even that.
Since mid-August, so maybe 5 or 6 weeks. Really not
It's a pretty
bad.
respectable.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we could have her back at the end of Spocktober and do this all again.
And what
See how many
great-
viewers you have then. Oh no, Skycap's coming back on.
No. Okay, so.
Oh no, yeah.
Don't worry,
That was fantastically fun. That was way more fun than opening like 1 or 2 at a time.
Yeah, doing them in bulk
Yeah,
is
that
a
was
bit
great.
more. It's because you open the 1 or 2 and you kind of go, nah, straight
It's
up.
an
and you go,
event.
yeah, it makes it a bit more fun. I think I remember doing something similar, and yeah, it was good fun. It's good fun to watch as well. It's good fun, and thank you for letting us be a part of that as well. I think it was.
Thank you for your wise counsel as well.
And you'll wake up tomorrow and go, they made me took what?
Lederhosen.
Arachne Janeway.
Okay.
Yeah, the card has good stats, but have you seen him in assless chaps? That's the tiebreaker.
Look, I'm not saying that if Worf and Assless Japs came up,
It's the fistful of datas they didn't want you to see.
you don't want to know what the questions are going.
Okay, so we have a regularly scheduled show to do.
We do. Let's have a talk about.
Allegedly.
We have a allegedly show to do, and let me flick through. Let's go things out of sequence. So we've had a wonderful Tuesday pack just turn up, and I say wonderful with air quotes as big as you can make them, because it is mostly a Vulcan pack, which for those that are going, oh hey, I need a ton of Vulcans, well, here's the pack for you if you really want to, but it's, and I'm going to have to look on my iPad who's on there, and I'm going to have to open my game, so never mind. But it features the erstwhile Ambassador Valar, who is an Enterprise crew that didn't feature in the Enterprise Mega, but here we are. Can't win them all. But we've got two skills on a dip command, so the most common skill set in the game. Can't win them all. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Auto. So yeah, we've got some Troys, we've got Saval, and I think it's that Shraz, Saracen,
You've got Ambassador Shraz, Ambassador Spock,
Yeah.
Ambassador. Why am I blanking?
A lot
out
of
so
ambassadors.
a
that's
lot
what I
of
get in there.
ambassadors,
Yeah.
not enough diplomats, is what I'm
Lots
hearing
of
here.
S's in there because they're all Vulcans.
An assemblage of ambassadors.
Some of you might be thinking, well, hang on, Spocktober's coming up. Maybe some of these crew will be good for me in the future.
All I'm gonna say is, so I wrote up the note for Ambassador Valar, and in writing that note, do you know what the most interesting thing I found out is? So I believe the
Yeah.
actress's name is what is it, Fionnuala Flanagan,
That's the best name.
and you might, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, and you might better know her as Dr. Juliana Taylor, who is the much better card of her 2 appearances, and that's all you really need to know about Valar. Moving on.
Well, hold on now. We've already started up Abraham Lincoln today because of collections. So Valar is not the worst card out there.
No, and I could see someone taking her because of an affection for the character. Because I will say that's one of the few first season episodes of Enterprise that's actually pretty decent because it has a lot of T'Pol character development. You have a slight softening in Archer's opinion toward Vulcans. Valar is an actual pretty cool character with a fun actress and like a well-written script, and it has like a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's a good episode, and I could see if you really love Enterprise, like I allegedly do, maybe you could take it for that.
Hey, Skycap, he's saying nice things about Archer. Why don't you set him straight, huh?
Ooh.
Don't worry, I'm right there with you. Archer is my least favorite Star Trek character in the entire franchise.
How do you feel about Malcolm Reed?
I quite like Malcolm Reed, actually.
I love Malcolm Reed.
Oh my god.
Really?
The Reed alert is one of my favorite moments in the entire series. I love the Reed alert.
He's
The
so
Reed alert,
dull.
I just watched that episode like 2 days ago. Yeah.
He's allergic to
Amazing.
pineapple.
Guess what? The thing is that that's how you work a boring character. Is you have everyone on the show go, Jesus Christ, Malcolm, why are you so boring? And he's like, I don't know, I'm British.
My father was in the Navy.
Oh dear, oh bother.
We're a family of Navy people, don't you know?
The Royal Space Force. Yeah.
I'm the rebel. I went into
I have to
space.
say, I think that was one of my favorite moments in that episode when I think it's like season episode 3 or whatever.
It's like,
Because it's like the A plot is about I think the Klingons, and the B plot is what do we do for Malcolm's birthday? And they have to call Malcolm's parents on Earth, and they're this doddery old like British couple who are terribly polite. Like they're still standing for the Queen's speech in like 2150.
like
whatever.
if that was me, and they phoned my mum, it's like, what the fuck are you asking me for? He ain't lived with me for 20 years. Fuck off. I don't know.
All right,
Get him some Lego.
Is the Queen still alive in the Prime Universe? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Guess what? The royal family are like roaches. You just can't get rid of them. But anyway.
How dare you?
Talking about Valar. We were talking about Valar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So +1 diplomat, +1 Vulcan, a little bit of arena use if you want to feel fancy. Otherwise, an affection pick, which I can see because it's a good episode.
Next.
Not in a 6-pack. All right. Let's move on. Where are my show notes? I've forgotten what we're actually doing this week. Let's talk about the Queen some more. Okay, actually, yes, let's talk about the Queen some more. Let's talk about the LTOs for this week, which we have 2 absolutely fantastic cards. Queen Poe, and we have... Look, these segues write themselves, stars. Look at that. We have Queen Poe. Queen Poe, legendary card, and we also have Leonardo da Vinci, quite an older but still quite a strong powerhouse. For anyone wanting to buy these cards at the requisite price, what would you say to them? Bearing in mind, Queen Poe was in a campaign 3 months ago, 3-4 months ago, something like that. You know, and she was
Maybe a little bit longer, but yeah.
definitely one of the
3
better.
months ago, we were still getting 2 skillers, so further back than that.
Hey, we're still getting 2 skillers now. Look at Ambassador Valar, anyway. Anyone got something to say about that?
So, well, I was going to say, so I grabbed that campaign for Queen Poe because at the time, I think she was still like a sub 50 Voyager, and her numbers have like decreased a little bit, but you regularly use her in Voyages because she's a nice like dip anchor if you haven't got one of the higher tier ones, or if you want to. She's got a good little bevy of traits, so if you want a little bit of extra antimatter, that can sometimes justify taking over someone with maybe a few more voyage points. I also just really love like the card because I really liked that short trek with Tilly. I love the fact that she's eating the ice cream. I love the actress. I love her involvement in season 2 of Discovery. So it's an affection pick for me. I believe she counts for Innovator or Jury Rigger.
Jury Rigger, definitely. I know that. I'm not sure about...
for sure.
Yeah, because I know the 4-star version does. So she has that collection going for her. I believe she has a nice, what is it, like cultural figure, prodigy. Like she has a nice
royalty as well.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zahan. Yeah, Zahan.
Yeah, like I don't know if I could outright say to someone, yes, you should take her at 1 out of 5, because it's a different prospect than when she was in the campaign or when she was an event crew. But if you have like a few stars on her already, or this would be your final start, I would say it's worth taking if you're the kind of person who goes after LTOs. Yeah.
And if you took it if you took the campaign already and you're just sitting there thinking about that final start, then yeah, worth it.
Yeah, it's true.
I will say I think she's very slightly overrated, but that's only because no one has ever said anything negative about her. So she's not going to transform your world, but she's still a very solid card. And Dip Eng is like it's a hard combo to get enough of, and she's got just enough zany traits, just enough power, just enough relevance to be a good investment still. Yeah, you could cite her, you could pay for her, whatever, and she's good. She's solid. She's not the best crew in the game, but she's very good. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Dip Engine is an interesting combination because if you don't have one of the elite names like Ishan Che Cisco or as Cappy just found out, Discovery #1, it's like there's a nice cluster of the really high ranked ones, and then there's like a few nice ones here, and then it just kind of falls off a cliff. Where you have like, do you want to take Captain Thaddy and Akona? Well, that changed your life. So, if you had to take a mid-range one, Queen Poe is as good as any.
Yeah. Okay, let's quickly move on and talk about Leonardo da Vinci. The God knows how old he is. He's 2017, 2016?
November,
I
I
think
think it's
2017,
November
yeah.
2017.
Yeah,
he
so
was an
we-
event reward.
Yeah, and he is still rocking it today. I can only think back in 2017 for the people that got him 5 stars. He must have been a rock star for the time. You know, Jonathan
More
Rhys
than
Davies on your roster.
way,
You just got to be like, wow.
So let's
Otto
ask
forced me to cite him. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, let's ask the resident Voyager expert what she thinks of his fantastic flying machine episode. Concentrating on the armor, or whatever he says, you know?
I think what's his name? John Rhys Davies or Jonathan Rhys Davies?
Yeah,
John Rhys
he
Davies,
plays
otherwise
Thank
known as
you.
Dala from Indiana Jones, Gimli from Lord of the Rings, or one of my own personal favorites is General Pushkin from The Living Daylights.
Or the guy from Sliders.
That one as well, yeah.
the guy.
He's
from
in everything.
Sliders.
He's also Welsh, which I thought was hilarious when I realized, oh wait, he's playing Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, weird pick.
That was a weird pick.
But
I gotta say, I'm not a
like it.
huge fan of holodeck episodes in general across any of the Star Trek series. I kind of zone out on them sometimes.
You just
But
took
you're a Voyager
Arachnia for
fan.
the
How is
cool
that possible?
factor.
Yeah, but that was like real too. So
Yeah, it's
I
point.
don't know,
But
I'm grasping here. I know. But I remember when I got Leonardo, I got him. I had tried really, really hard to rank in. I think it was alternate future Jadzia's event. And I think it was a galaxy. And I ran out of crons. I was like really early on in this account. And I tried to rank and I missed her, but I got, the 3 single portal pulls or whatever. And I pulled Leonardo and it was like amazing. Consolation prize. And then Otto, forced me, like, I don't know how many messages he sent me, like, you have to cite him, you have to cite him. And it was a good decision. He's been a solid card.
Yeah. Because he has he kind of hits a lot of different things. Like he has like a ton of good traits, just like Poe. I think he hits like a 45% in the gauntlet, even though his rolls aren't
65.
amazing. Tons of good kind of good traits like Prodigy. I think does he have Prodigy as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he has Innovator and Inspiring. And just I think what is he still like sub 100 Voyager, even though he's that old?
Yeah,
73.
he's right around 70.
Yeah,
In
like
fact,
he's aged tremendously well.
he Nanoprobe Phlox, and there's another Med crew that are like right next to each other, so they're all very similar. So if you have one of them for frame of reference, you should know about how good he is as well.
But if you were to take him 1 of 5, and if you were, say, playing the last 6 months, you were unfortunate not to get Leo, but you saved up the 100,000, you got Nanoprobe Phlox, you put a few sights on him, and maybe Medic Jet Reno, and some of the other sort of major Engmed or Cyan crew that have been dropping lately. If you were to look at that now and say, well, how much is a 1 of 5 Leo going to be worth to me these days?
Well, yeah, because it's also a case of he has one of the less desirable permutations of that moveset, because it's a case of he was back in 2017 when it's a case of he was like the only one with it. So you kind of forgave him for that, but now it's a case of with Rena around, with someone like Dr. Van Gogh, we've had a bit more availability of different permutations of it, and his is one of the least desirable of it.
Yeah, I believe he was the very first crew with that skill set. You're right.
So definitely like a bit of like Star Trek Timelines history if you go in for that kind of thing. And if you got him at 4 out of 5 or even 3 out of 5, I could definitely see justifying the price point. But it's just a case of you have to look at what you've got on your roster. If you want to maybe try and shoot for someone that's still in the portal, if you want to, because they've been giving us a few little event crew that have this, Paul Neard points out. So Amanda Rogers was an event crew. There have been a few put in here, so this skill set is not exclusive anymore. And if you're the patient kind, you can always build it up using mutated Paris's, other one, Indignant Sevens and Mobile Docs. Hey man, it's been a long stream. There are ways to get this skill set, and in better power with more versatility. That being said, if you're the kind of person who looks at like 9.99 and goes, "That's alright for me," I can't stop you. I objectively can't stop you.
If you were to get him now and put Foresight, you've got the Foresights waiting for the right crew that could improve your roster, then yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so LTOs. Some good ones this week. I mean, we've seen some rubbish ones over the last sort of few weeks. There's been sort of, the North Star Tuckers and the whoever else.
What are you talking about? Sullivan Reed is a cornerstone of my roster. How dare you?
I dare, sir. I dare.
Yeah, you just insulted the only two Reed lovers that play this game.
It's been nice knowing you guys. Okay. This week, so we've done things a little bit backwards. Usually we start with this. But this week we have a Galaxy event, which isn't always desirable for some, but those that like to tap mindlessly at their screens for hours at a time, hey, this is the event for you. But we do have Roger Korby from the original series, Season 1 episode, What a Little Girl's Made Of. We also have Altan, Soong, and Transporter Chief Rand. Now, Roger Korby, and you pointed at this out, Stars, that we can now have a complete, and I hate saying this all in one go, What a Little Girl's Made Of bridge crew, because we now have Roger Korby, we now have Android Kirk, we have Ruck, and we have Christine Chapel. So we actually have a little mini episode collection, which I love. I love any crew that you could link to an episode. I think it's fantastic. So we've got a Psymed Command, which is, I haven't looked, but that's quite a fairly unique sort of combination. You don't often see Command with those two, do you?
No, not massively so. I think in the last few months you've had Dr. Edward LaForge. Looking way back, if you want to, I think probably one of the progenitors would have been not in the same order, but alternate future Bashir. if you really want to retch, it really spans the gamut. For me, Korby is that crew where I look at him and I go, yeah, he's pretty good, but I really want him. Because I adore the art. The void power is there. The void stack is there to target specific combos. And I just think that it's a case of, I was talking to Otto about this in the case of looking at him versus Nona from a little while ago, that kind of like a case of, well, this is how to do a TOS one-off and make them relevant on your roster. And then a tweak away is Nona, where it's a case of, on the right roster, she will do things, but she's not going to have the enduring power of someone like Korby, where I could see someone getting Korby from an event or a pack and still using him a year into the future, whereas Nona, I don't think most people could say that.
You've got that look, Otto.
I always have that look, man. No, Sky Cap told us ahead of time. She's like, I have no clue who he is. Don't ask me any questions about Roger.
No, I know who he is. I know the episode very well. I don't know anything about numbers, so if you were gonna be like, "What do you think about his stats?" I would.
So what do you think about his stats?
So mean. It's the first time here, man. Don't be like that.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get it back afterwards. I know how this works.
Yeah.
So speaking of his episode,
shall we cut to? Hang on. Let's cut to.
What are we cutting to?
In a world where Latinum is king, 3 men, 1 desire, to share stories that are beyond belief. But what happens when the absurd becomes real? An airlocked Inglatu, appearing in crew quarters, failed voyages, reviving themselves. A Behold, with 3 Lucians, seeing Dilemma Part 3 at hour 6. These and other unbelievable stories that you'll only find here on Timelines Talks Episode Recap.
Gotta play it. Anyway.
I love that intro so much.
That's so good. If you were to, I think if the guy that does the movie voiceovers ever has to retire, Otto, you need to take over. The next Star Trek movie that comes out, on a planet far away.
Maybe this makes it less cool, but I actually went back and watched and Don LaFontaine was the movie voice guy of the '90s and the early 2000s. He had that perfect delivery. So I went back and watched a few of those and did my best pale imitation of that.
Brilliant.
So
We'll do more of those. So yeah, should we talk about this episode? Because I say we've been trying to sort of try and get back into bits and talk about episode recaps. So let's talk about What a Little Girl's Made Of, season 1 TOS episode. TOS. I hate saying that. The original series episode. I hate it's abbreviated TOS, but it feels like horrible
right,
to
you
say.
tosser.
Yeah. Oh, whatever.
yeah, I think we have an abbreviated recap this time.
We do.
And apologies to podcast listeners, but this will again be an image format.
In fact, you know what? I'm going to come out and just come out with a bit of an advisory before we begin. Go and watch this episode because I'm going to out myself here as not a massive TOS fan. Like, I think it's a bit hokey, a bit rough around the edges. If you go in for the camp and you love that stuff, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. That being said, even as someone who is not massively into TOS, this is a really good, solid episode. This is really good 60s science fiction. They do a lot with not a lot. It's great fun if you're into the memes as well. If you're into the memes, as the kids say.
Of course, yes.
Great makeup, great acting, a bit of a focus on Christine Chapel, which you don't get a lot of in these episodes. Even Shatner does some really good work. Like everyone has like a nice little role to play. It feels a bit more modern than a lot of TOS, I would say. Maybe that's overselling it, but go and watch this episode. It's great. I like it.
It's got a very strong Twilight Zone flair to it as well.
Very, yeah.
So,
and Shatner holding a phallic object as well, which I think is the subject of the meme.
do we?
Beyond his usual, you mean?
Yes. Okay, we have that coming up. I had to make sure that was in there. So if you want to pull up the first image, I think we just got about a dozen images here.
Would you like me to describe it? Scene: Kirk, Spock, and Chapel on the bridge. Couple standing behind them, one in yellow uniform, other in blue jumpsuit, looking adoringly at the captain.
Yeah, so I have no notes for this, but the TLDR is Chapel's ex-fiance. They lost contact with him on the planet. Brilliant scientific mind. So they finally hear from him, and Chapel starts talking to him. And in this scene, you can see the couple standing behind them. They just sort of float into frame together, and they stand together and they smile at the camera, and it's very sweet. And then the next
Symbolism!
And the next image is sort of a continuation of that. Chapel's hopping on the away team to go visit Roger, and Uhura calls her over and gives her a kiss on the cheek, like, good luck, go see your fiance. So
get some.
Yeah.
I love it. Sorry to interrupt, but I love that moment so much because Uhura just is so like genuinely excited for Chapel, and it's with there being no other women on the bridge in TOS, we don't get a lot of moments of female friendship, and I really love that. Just that tiny little moment in that episode is so sweet.
There was
definitely it's a very small little moment, and I almost have to wonder, like, was that in the script or was that a case of like those two ad-libbing it? I almost want to believe it is because like it must have been pretty tricky for them having to deal with Shatner's ego among other things.
Yes.
So a little bit of like, hey, look, these two are friends. They have solidarity with each other. They feel for each other. That's something, you know, that you don't get a lot of in TOS. A lot of TOS. Sorry.
And most notably, this was the first interracial kiss on television.
Well, true.
I bet you didn't know that.
It is nice to see because I say I've been doing an original series we watch as well. I'm sort of thinking about halfway through season 2, and it's nice, you know, as you say, it's nice to see something that isn't the rampant sexism that you see in pretty much every episode of the original series, including going back to the cage where. God.
Oh, don't worry, that's coming up too.
Yeah,
Are you telling me that Janice Lester is not the female icon of the 1960s?
I remember as Pike's words from the cage is like, I've never been comfortable with a woman on the bridge. Oh, geez, come on. Anyway, sorry, also carry on.
Click. So the next image, Kirk and Chapel beam down, but they can't find Korby. Things look a little amiss. So they beam down 2 security officers, and I picked this slide because if you zoom in on their crotch, you'll see these security bandana belts that they wear that you sometimes have to build in game that I'd never noticed before, but I noticed them this time. So
I imagine they were probably stolen off of like another CBS Western set.
Yeah, I was going to
Given
say a
how
Western.
things used to be back in the day.
Yeah, they are space holsters.
I am
for all
still
intents and
convinced that
purposes.
DeForest Kelly walked onto the wrong set and all of a sudden he's on Star Trek. Because he was a well-known Western actor. He just walked on, was like,
he was.
pumps blue uniform. I was like, all right now. You
So,
green pointy-head
click.
bastard.
Let's get to the rampant misogyny and sexism that we were just talking about.
Andrea.
We have, yes, we have everyone's favorite Andrea, who should certainly be a card sometime soon. But Captain Kirk is being held hostage by Rock, the giant android, and being forced to kiss this beautiful android, Andrea. Now, I think a couple episodes ago we talked about Ensign Kim and Lieutenant Paris. Robbie Duncan McNeil and Garrett Wong have podcasts, The Delta Flyers, and Garrett was always saying Kirk was such a reluctant lover. He didn't throw himself at the girls, they threw themselves at him. So score another point for Garrett in this one. But, you know, you can't go one episode without Kirk getting kissed. And speaking of Kirk, click, click.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, it wasn't ready. There we go.
We see.
Oh.
I don't know why I screenshot it. I just, you know.
You
This
don't know
was in
why.
his-
You have no idea.
You wanted your
This
pound of
was in his
flesh, didn't you?
contract. He had to get naked, so they're trying to clone him into another android. So he's laying naked on the bed with a very tasteful restraint over his bits. And
That
it's
was the
not
classic-
well
that is the
It's
classic
called a
Star
girdle,
Trek.
Alto. It's called a girdle. Don't. You're gonna need one soon.
It's
That is-
actually the clamshell. Whenever they talk about, you know, on the bio bed when it
Yeah, I
comes
was
up
going to
on
say
top
about
of
that.
them,
Yeah.
it's the
That's
clamshell.
the origin of it then, I suppose. That is the first biobed. All to hide Shatner's wang.
To Phil, VSA points out he is
It's
very well
Shatner's
shaven
wong.
all
Oh,
over.
sorry.
Yeah, he's sheared like a sheep. All right, let's move on.
Hey, before we do, to Phil just says he has shaved. Anyway, now we'll move on.
So this is Kirk. They're about to copy every part of him into an android, including his thoughts, his memories, his emotions. So this I thought was a very original take on the outsmart the computer with illogic type thing that they always do in Star Trek. So he's sitting there, I'm sick of your half-breed interference. You hear me? You know, he's ranting at Spock so that hopefully the copy will also rant at Spock and he'll know that something is amiss. Click, click.
Now it's really, really, really good that he didn't say that to another member of the crew because that could have been taken even worse. Now I think Scotty, it would have probably like gone right over his head, but there are other members of the crew that wouldn't have come down.
That is a good point actually. But yes,
Yeah.
anyway, please.
So we see Android Kirk. Now the duplicate Kirk sits down and tries to trick Chapel into talking to him. She thinks it's the real Kirk. And this is for me, the first of the Twilight Zone moments, because she thinks she's talking to the real McCoy, as it were. And Android Kirk looks at her and says, androids don't eat, Miss Chapel. And you get that moment of like,
Mm.
It's pretty effective, to be fair. I didn't see it coming.
Mm.
click, click. Everybody's favorite image
Yeah, it is.
from this episode. Now, Kirk, the real Kirk, has escaped, and Korby is sending his team of androids to capture him. So he had to break off this stalagmite.
Why is
He
this
can
not a
overcome-
card? Why is this not a Tuesday pack? Ben, come on.
Ben, if you're still here,
Printing
that
money.
artwork.
I can't see them
Yeah.
approving it, but it has to. It's iconic.
Come on. It had. That's the number one TOS image I see shared on the entire internet. It kinda
Could
has
you
to be
imagine
shared.
how many people would want that on their roster? That has to be. That's
Guess what? If Floxo Naturel can pass through, why not this?
Yeah,
that's very
sure.
true. It's just a stalagmite.
This is the peak of the human male body. You may not like it, but that's what it is.
By the way, I just realized, I mean, you guys may not be following along with me, but for the podcast listeners, this is Kirk holding a stalagmite shaped. It's very.
I
very
think regular
phallic-
people
phallic.
guess this. I think as soon as
wanna
we
make
said
sure
what little
everyone's
girls
on the
made
same
of, they went,
page.
"Oh yeah, we know."
Oh, Ben says, no, we're not.
Ah.
Dreams
Leaving
shattered.
money on the table, leaving it there.
All right, click, click. So back on the ship, this is the android Kirk now, and he has been programmed correctly. So he goes off on Spock for no reason. I'm sick of your half-breed interference, do you hear? And then he pretends like nothing's wrong. Is there something? You look troubled, Mr. Spock. So Spock, of course, is troubled because he knows, or he has an inkling of what happened. Click, click. Now, this image is maybe my favorite in the entire episode. This is another Twilight Zone-esque. The lighting, the angle, this is not something you typically see on Star Trek.
Should we just give
And
a
it's
brief
great.
description? It is Kirk on a bed, lying face down on the cushion, and soft focus in the background is Andrea looking at him. It kind of almost looks like an appointment at the proctologist, but please carry on.
Well, now, Kirk has a very cunning, conniving look on his face. I think I wrote down when I was compiling these, this is the moment he knew that he had to have sex with another robot to save the Enterprise.
Another one? What, did Ruck already go first? Like, what are you saying here?
What do you think? the
Again, that was the
stalagmite was for?
outtakes.
So anyway, Kirk grabs her and they talk about kissing and this and that, and that's his way of overpowering her. Click, click. And his way of overpowering Ruck is to overwhelm him with illogic. He convinces Ruck that Korby is the enemy, not him. Why would he command you to destroy and all this stuff?
Just a note, Paul Need says from chat, says Paul Block wrote this episode and he also wrote Catspore along with Catspore is an infamously awful episode, which, along with also the movie Psycho. So there's various degrees of, Psycho to Catspore. Oh, okay.
Guess what? Not every writer can hit it out of the park every time.
This is true.
This is a good episode.
This is a good episode.
Well, I also have to say, so if you're interested in writing at all, one of the number one writers I'd advise you to look into is Stephen King, and especially I think it's the foreword for The Shining, where he admits that he wrote the entire thing on like 15 bottles of whiskey and a ton of drugs, and he's very upfront about it. And he's very upfront. Guess what? Do you know why Tommyknockers and Langoliers exist? Because I was high and I needed to make money. And I've always loved that about Stephen King, is that one of the most amazing horror writers of our time produced some real proper garbage, but he's very honest about it. And if you want to know anything about the writing process, look at writers like Robert Bloch, who can produce this, or Catspore, or Stephen King, who can pronounce The Shining or Langoliers. It takes all kinds.
How much LSD do you think was present in the TOS writers' room? I mean, come on.
This Side to Paradise alone, I'm pretty sure they took an entire truckload of it.
That episode was entirely drugs, so yeah, more unlikely.
So the click, the emotional climax of the episode.
There he is.
And coincidentally, the art. Now, I took this screenshot before we saw the art for Korby, and this is almost exactly it. It is revealed that Roger Korby is in fact an android. When he was stranded on the planet, freezing to death, to save his existence, he had to input his emotions, memories, his essence into an android body. So he is begging with Christine Chapel, saying, "It's still me, sweetheart. I'm still the man that you wanted to marry." And she only sees a cold, heartless android. So I think they captured the art on him pretty faithfully.
I have to say, like, Paul Need pointed out, he wrote Psycho. There is something extremely psycho, especially about that shot.
That's true.
About the art. There's something about the deadness of the eyes, but the emotiveness of the face, the shot, the framing, I love the inclusion of the hand that's damaged, so you know he's not quite human, even though he looks it. The composition is amazing.
It's almost, it almost actually, if you got Alfred Hitchcock directing this could have gone very sort of that kind of style of thing, You can see why Tarantino wants to remake some Toss, because he's he's saying it. The original series episodes,
make some Toss.
As if he hasn't made enough already. No, I love Tarantino. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
So not pictured in this scene is Andrea storms in with the phaser. She had just killed Android Kirk, who we do have a card of in the game, and she thinks she's killed the real Kirk.
Yeah, that's one.
Illogical. So she's killed Android Kirk. She walks in and realizes her error when the real Kirk is standing there. And even cold-hearted mechanical Korby knows this cannot continue, so with Andrea standing next to him, he grabs the phaser, fires a trigger, and both of them vaporize into nothingness. Which, of course, leads click click to a very lighthearted epilogue where we see a smiling Spock.
Yeah.
So I think, Stars, you had something to say about that, yeah?
Well, it's just a case of everyone is like, oh, you know, Spock never showed emotion. It's like, guys, it's Leonard Nimoy doing a big old... Like, TOS was infamous for the way it would end episodes with, like, you know, the...
Freeze frame.
And it's like, guess what? Even Spock would go in for it. You know, it's like the freeze frame, everyone jumps up into the air. I'm shocked they never did one of those, to be frank.
And they wonder why people complain when he smiles on Disco. You know, when young Spock is like, he never had emotion. No, he did. He smiled, and he, you know, when Kirk comes back from the dead in one of the episodes, he actually grabs and goes, "Jim!" Big smile on his face. And he's like, "Oh no, remain my composure." You know, so you know, there's precedence for Spock smiling. That is not unusual by any degree.
I believe that was a muck time, right? He thought he killed him in the ritual.
Oh yes, that was Keel Kroger. Yep.
Yeah. Am I remembering incorrectly, or is this not the one where it ends with someone asking about Dr. Roger Korby and like Kirk says, "Oh, he was never here," or something like that?
Oh, they say on the official logs, they say yes, he's presumed missing. He doesn't actually say that he killed him. He never reveals the details. He says he was a great scientist.
I always thought that was a nice little ambiguous sort of melancholy touch, despite the fact that we have our TOS ender. Like I always thought it was a nice little. No, something emotional happened that will affect our characters. Well, not really.
It's fine. We lost like 2 crew by chucked down a ravine by some murderous robot. Hey, it's okay. Next mission.
Yeah, by the way, the 2 red shirts previously pictured, they both died. Of course.
They did. Definitely. All right.
Man.
So Korby, definitely some history to him. Oh, hang on.
Korby, ladies and gentlemen.
Roger Korby. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about something way forward in the future. Let's go the opposite end of the Star Trek spectrum. Let's talk about also android engineer.
Right? Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah. Altan, Inigo, you killed my father. Prepare to die soon. He is here in super rare form. Yeah, so possibly the most bizarre appearance of a Noonien Soong descendant ever. He is now here.
Aren't they all?
Well, you know, Arik made some kind of sense. You know, he obviously he had descendants, and he got into augments, and then once he was deposed by Archer and crew, he went, yes, positronics, and that's kind of how it led to it. But Altan Soong suddenly coming out of the woodwork and going, "Oh, by the way, I'm Data's brother and I'm a child of Noonien. By the way, you've never heard of me before and Data never mentioned me? Oh, how weird." You know, it's a bit more of a reach than Burnham being Spock's sister, a little bit.
I always, when this popped up in Picard, spoilers by the way. It's a massive spoiler. I think we're kind of past the deadline now.
We are.
If you're still listening and trying to avoid spoilers, then just skip to the next segment.
Yeah. I looked at this and I was like, another biological Soong that looks exactly like Arik, that looks exactly like Noonien.
Yeah.
I was like, you did something to your genes, didn't you?
Yeah.
You just locked your face onto every single one of them.
Too right.
And you know what? That is the most in-character thing for Noonien and Arik Soong I can possibly imagine. No, my face, only my face.
I'm going to take this one step further.
Background.
I'm going to take this one step further. I'm going to say that Arik Soong never died. I'm going to say that he went through and yeah, exactly. He he's a genetic engineer. He created all these augments. He can break the rules of how of life itself. So I think we've seen Arik Noonien.
Arik and Noonien and Inigo in the same scene? I think not.
Although if we can have Dream Noonien soon in the game, that would be fantastic.
Oh, I would love that. Like proper age soon. So I also want to point out. So
believe it or not, we do have a guest star on.
We do. I was just thinking that.
Yeah, sorry, Sky Cat.
Hi, Sky. How you doing?
What should I do?
Perfect.
So he's actually a very strong super ray. You're gonna. It's a very strong 4/4 super rare crew you're gonna get, and seeing as you're kind of that stage of the game, he's gonna be quite useful for you, I should imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm always happy to get that's the trade-off of a galaxy. It's a little bit it hurts a little bit to spend all your chronotons and your actual credits to just throw them in the ether, but it's really nice getting the fully fused crew, and yeah, he'll be useful, I think. And he'll be a little grandson or great grandson to my first to Max Arc soon.
Oh, that's true.
There you go.
Oh, you could
There you
complete
go.
the cycle. You could.
It's like it
Oh
was
man.
Better save your replication.
Actually, I think you're a bit late for
Yeah.
that now, considering the pack's been up for
Yeah.
about a
Oh,
few
that's
hours
true.
now. Yeah.
Amazing card, to be fair. Like, I think we've been talking about putting him to tier 1 just because of the sheer amount of like sheer base power, sheer voyage power. I could see an event future. I could definitely see an event future there. for him.
You look at the rankings down below for those that can see it. Sorry about people on the podcast, but side base rank for super rare crew number 1, voyage rank number 1, side command voyage rank for super rares number 1, side command base rank number 1. He's got the numbers. He's there.
He's rubbing shoulders with Golden Crew. To be
Yes.
fair. Like that's the level of like how good you are. Like, pretty terrible Golden Crew, but that's still a high watermark for purple.
In fact, he's the first purple to surpass Gold Crew in voyage rank, if we're not counting Captain Scott in 1001. And he's also, I'm sure everyone out there listening knows who Victorian Pulaski is. She has a huge diplomacy base. For a lot of people, she's one of the few crew that they leave thawed, a few purples that they leave thawed because her base is just so good. His is actually higher than that. And science is not such a common seat, but I think he's like 80 points better than Evie Sue Phlox, who we just had recently as an event reward. Now, if you have him and you're impressed with him, this guy's even better. I think he's like 1150 base with bonuses or something, which is just massive. That's like a 3-5 or a 4-5 gold. So you're basically getting a half fused gold from a galaxy for very little investment. So I would take him. If you're a very new player, stop spending your chronotons right now. Save them for this event. Get him, even if you can only get 3 copies. It would be worth it to throw a citation on him down the line as well.
Well, 130k even,
Yeah,
for anyone that's been playing more than 2 or 3 months, you should be able to get that with 2 to 3k crons, depending how many you got. It might take a little bit more, but you should be able, over the space of the 4 days, you should be able to grab him. 4 stars, definitely.
Well, it's also a case of like if you if you're so like cron locked that you can't do that, throw in a tiny amount so that you can get the community copy, and then just save up your campaign free citations and put them on him. Because honestly, I don't think that's a bad proposition. You get a stat boosting collection, you get an amazing Voyager that will last, you get an amazing base that will last. These are not terrible traits that could see one-offs, or we've already had a Mega for Caregiver, but I could see some work in maybe Innovator that's already had a one-off. And if the elusive Picard Mega ever shows up, he will be extremely useful.
One day it will happen.
One day more, etc.
Another day, another destiny. Sorry, we're going to Les Mis now. Yes, let's go.
It was always going to end up there.
Yeah. All right, clowns. We still have a guest on the show. So Skycap, presumably you've seen the end of Picard. Do you have any sort of affection for Altan Inigo soon?
We don't care about spoilers, right?
Nah.
No, I think people
We're beyond
should
that
have
now.
skipped if they were worried.
I
about
liked
it's
when
in
he
the
told
game, it's
Durrani,
staying.
shame on you for executing Maddox. I like that moment.
Oh,
a lot.
Yeah. That was
because it's a bit of a segue away from his character, but what the hell? She just kills the guy and everybody's like, yeah, you can just keep hanging out with us. It's cool.
Yeah, it is always nice when characters like face a consequence for something like that. And
Yeah,
I think
at least a shame on you. I think it's
because to be fair, Maddox was not a great person, but that is no excuse for what she did. That being said, Vulcan mind control possible. Yeah, it's a messy
sunglasses,
situation.
Commodore sunglasses. Are just you can't fight it.
Possible mind control.
She like flips up the sunglasses and there's those little the swirls in the middle.
Look into my eyes, not around my eyes, into my eyes. You're under.
It's been a long time since I heard a little Britain joke. Jesus.
Yes, thank you.
That's the level we've reached here.
Yeah.
Then I actually, here's the thing. A few people were like, "Oh, it's just an excuse to get Brent Spiner on the show." Realistically speaking, you didn't have to. But like I said, I thought it made sense with the lore and the universe. It was nice to see him playing someone that was a different kind of Soong, but definitely in the same dynasty. I wouldn't be against seeing him again, although I'm pretty sure that Brent Spiner is not picking up their calls.
I think he said he was open to return to season 2, and I think he did say, like, I'd like to go do some more stuff with Altan, because he was a bit of a left field. Here I am, and this is why I'm here. Bye. So,
I honestly like to imagine that when, as I theorized that Noonian and whatever were looking in the genes, poor Juliana Taylor was in the background, like, I'm going to leave you for this. This is the one. This is the one that's going to break it.
She's like, oh, he's got my eyes. Noonian's there going, no, Ian. He's not.
Yeah.
Definitely all have.
No, it's a fair. One other thing, like a more boring stats-wise thing, is a case of Psychommand. We've been harping on about it for a while. It's a case of there've been a lot of cards coming in that have been populating that rank. That being said, this quality, and especially at a 4-star level, we're not gonna. I don't think that there's a reason to mark him down for that. Like, you need Psychommand. It is a stack that you need, and if you're gonna get it, you might as well get it from somewhere good like this.
So going from the best to quite possibly the worst.
Oh, yes. So not just the worst, probably one of the worst cards. We're also talking about one of the worst Transporter Chiefs in the history of the Star Trek series. My God, Janice, how could you fuck it up this bad? Transporter Chief Rand from the motion picture.
I take umbrage.
Oh, do you?
Because you're the motionless picture fan.
I absolutely love that film, and to be honest, I actually do love this scene because it actually shows how horrible things can get. So as much as this card is trash,
bone side in people. But what
Stars, you asked that question, but you already knew he's the biggest tosser out there. He just loves toss.
Oh,
you're just throwing it out there, just tossing it out there for us.
Oh, hey, look, the end stream button's here.
So, in case you haven't seen the scene, watch it because it's horrific and really out of place.
It is.
And
yeah.
If you're gonna watch it, maybe watch it apart from the rest of the movie because it only exists to kill off like a Star Trek Phase 2 character that didn't need to exist. I don't know why Gene Roddenberry decided to use a fictional like eraser on real people for his movie. It's weird. But I had to take umbrage with your characterization of her as a bad transporter chief because I think it's like 5 seconds into the transport, Kirk, who is established to know nothing about this new ship, turns to the transporter chief and says, "Hey, give it to me."
Oh, okay.
And then he is the one who kills
okay.
I am convinced. Because he's the one at the controls at the actual point in which they start screaming and undulating and then get sent back and presumably get fused to the transporter pad. And it's like, well done, Kirk. Most resignations aren't quite that brutal, but
Sky, have you seen the motion picture?
I have, yeah. I watched it when they, in the US at least, they brought it to theaters last year, I want to say, like fall of last year. Wow. So I went and saw it in the theater, which is awesome.
Ah, man.
Yeah.
Those visuals must have played a lot differently on a cinema screen.
The visuals and music, it was great.
I will still maintain, and I will absolutely maintain this to my dying breath, that the motion picture is the absolute distillation of Star Trek in a film, because there's none of this cheap shot major bad guy that's out to get everyone. There's none of this. It's just purely them getting on our ship with the amazing motion picture refit of the Enterprise with those great bridges. Okay, the uniforms are crap. The acting's hammy, but you've got these amazing visuals exploring the unknown. They are literally exploring something that defies human scope. They're going to Vija, which it's beyond people, beyond what people can imagine, and then they transform it into something that transcends humanity, and it's an absolute discovery. That this is my wanderlust coming out. It's just like I love that film because it distills all what Star Trek tries to be in the future. To that kind of one vision. That's kind of why I love it. Yes, it is slow and plodding in the way that a late 1970s sci-fi film is, trying to be Stanley Kubrick, but it is. I love the message behind it.
Now, I could take cheap shots here, but out of respect for your love,
No, please
I'm
do.
not going to.
No,
for
please do,
once.
because I
No,
absolutely,
I'm
you
not
know,
going to for once.
no, because the Chekhov scene when they're doing photon torpedo that's crap, but like, you know,
Belay that
there's bad points for every film, but you know, I love the message behind it, and I will maintain.
What I was going to say is, if you're a true TMP fan, you need to turn up in one of those leather shoots at some point.
Or if I could. With just the tight pants and
Also,
the buckle.
can we get you in like one of the Monster Maroons? I'll turn up in the first contact.
With the helmet.
I'll do it.
He's a monster marine.
Yeah.
You guys are still talking in slow motion. I don't know what you're saying.
I don't love the unitard,
No,
I don't love the pattern that they used for that, but I love the color scheme. After kind of the visual assault that is TOS on TV with the crazy colors, and there's that scene, I think, when, it's been a little while, but I think it's when Kirk announces to everybody that the people have died in the transporter accident, and like everybody's gathered in the cargo bay maybe, or something. And like just that, like the kind of, not quite monochromatic, but like all those muted tones of those uniforms, I think it looks awesome.
It is a nice part.
I wouldn't want to wear one of those uniforms, but
it's nice because the whole thing starts with that classic Klingon, you know, the 3 Klingon attack ships. Go and you get da 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 da. It's the first point of that music, and it's brilliant. I love it. I'm gonna go watch that tonight. I have to.
The uniforms are very reminiscent of actual military. The color scheme, anyway. Like if you look at the Air Force, you know, you're not going to see blue, yellow, and red or whatever. You know, it's the color scheme is consistent there. But I think the only thing I have to
say they remind me a lot of Jerry Anderson's UFO.
Oh God, yeah.
Which is a bit of a pull, for those of you who are outside of the United Kingdom. But if you want something that's very, very cheesy 1970s and you love a bit of Thunderbirds, it's in that same vein.
Wait, we have not said one word about this crew, so...
Okay.
Is there anything to say?
I was going to say, what do you want? I mean, she's the number 3 Ang Dip Voyager.
No, she's terrible. So anyway, the one thing that I would say about that movie is, so I was watching recently, I forget the name of it, one of the TOS episodes, where, what is there, a bird in? What is that?
I'm just trying to undo my terrible pronunciations.
It's the Yangs versus the Coms. It's the Yankees versus the Commies. And Kirk has to set them straight because they messed up the words to the, you know, we the people in order to form a more perfect union. And he starts lecturing that, but their holy words were id plebnista. And, you know, they had so disfigured these wonderful, they literally walk in the room holding the American flag on an alien planet. And it's either Kirk or Spock, you know, this is a great example of parallel development between cultures. I'm like, bullshit. Anyways, that scene reminds me of when they get up to V'ger and Kirk rubs away the dirt and it's actually Voyager. And so they've restored the American dream, you know, by putting Voyager in its rightful place instead of this mysterious alien. Really, the Americans were to blame for all of this. So
I have 2 other things to add, which is one thing I do appreciate about TMP, which is I believe they established that Voyager's mission statement was learn all that is learnable and then return to the creator. And I love the turn of phrase, learn all that is learnable. That's very Star Trek. The second is, I don't know if any of you have ever played Star Trek Legacy.
Oh, many times ago.
Which was an Xbox 360 and PC game, which is one of the sources for establishing that V'ger and the race of living machines that created it and turned it into this massive, like, cloud of energy were also the creators of the Borg.
Yeah, I think they were. That was earlier than that. I think that was definitely kind of writer's notes in sort of like TNG, sort of early TNG when they first started talking about the Borg. I think someone definitely said like, yeah, we're sure that these are kind of related links somewhere. I can't remember specifically, but I think that was Legacy was built upon that kind of myth. Yeah, and it's an interesting one, definitely. I think that...
Yeah, if you want like a bit of a deep dive into that, and also just to see a bit of like Star Trek video game history, if you can play, I think Star Trek Legacy is still playable on PC, and you can have like mods to put all kinds of ships in it. It has voice acting from all the captains, all original, like even like Avery Brooks, I think, did stuff from it. And it takes place across all the eras, like not counting Discovery, obviously, because it didn't exist at that point. And it has these really lovely, like, animated movies that are narrated by this Vulcan from the Enterprise era, and her perception of logic as absolute, and how that corresponds with the Borg pursuit of perfection, and how that dovetails with Vija and all this stuff. It's a really fun little thing of, like, normally you only see it in like the books or whatever, but if you want to see how everything dovetails together, that's like a nice use of about half an hour of your time. Just go and watch like, the Star Trek Legacy, all the cutscenes together.
I'm gonna have to add that to my playlist, because I say I've already sort of, I've done a couple of streams on this channel with, like, Elite Force, but I mean I want to do some more Star Trek gaming at some point. But I think you convinced me I need to put Legacy on that list.
Definitely, I would recommend it, and
because it's built off the Armada engine, isn't it? Because it's actually, I remember when it first came out, people said the performance is rubbish. It's just an abbreviated Armada 2 engine, and I remember sort of like it's built on top of that. I think it was.
Because the thing is what I love the most about Legacy is the fact that you can build your own fleets out of like different ships. So if you want to have like nothing but like TMP Enterprises, you can do that. If you want to have like an Enterprise era ship in TNG era, you can do that. But you have manual control over them as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, but I don't think because Armada's more of an RTS. Correct?
It is, but I think like okay, we're getting to semantics here, but yeah, the actual engine behind it was Armada. Anyway,
guys, it's 11:30 at night. There's a moth flying around this room.
I'm trying to avoid talking about Transport Chief.
Yeah,
it's a full-time job.
I think this is a nice natural conclusion to avoid talking about her.
Hold on now. I would be upset if we didn't piss people off by going over 2 hours. So can we do like one beholdometer before we go?
I'll say this one thing: she's not in the portal. So if you are a collectionist and you want to just hit that little tier below, you might as well go for Roger Korby at that point. But if you want to grab 4 stars of her, then yeah, maybe you want to. Okay, let's do a quick beholdometer. How do I turn that off and I turn that on? Okay, she's a spinning. And I have actually fixed it, so hopefully we shouldn't see any Cheesecake 7s or Waxana Troys in here.
We just see 3 Lucille Davenports in a row, and I was like, oh god.
Okay, I forgot about her. I forgot about Lucille. Yeah. Right, okay. Okay, so 0 stars on May, 0 stars on Awaiting Burnham, 1 star on Mira Kirk. Sky. There's no Voyager crew here. Who would you take? You go Burnham.
I take Burnham.
I think I
take
would
Burnham
too.
into Gauntlet.
Yeah, and also events.
Well, I take her into Gauntlet.
Actually, it's interesting that when they added Red Angel to the Gauntlet, they added a couple new traits and trait sets that give crit, including Xenoanthropology or whatever the heck only Burnham has. So all of her variants will get a little more crit going forward, which does help away Team Burnham in this case.
Chat's just lit up saying Burnham.
Out that, you may think that ATB stands for Away Team Burnham, but it actually stands for Always Take Burnham, which is a pretty good rule in most Begolds.
Or All-Terrain Burnham.
Like it.
She is equipped.
I'm on the show for a reason.
This one's
trivia.
It's
trivia.
Let's do one more.
It is trivia.
It's trivia. For those who don't know, Skycap is our resident trivia queen. Did you come with any? You should have come with some.
Oh no!
Oh, next time you can quiz
next
us.
time. On the Mirror Show.
Yes.
On the Prime show on the weekend, Stellar and Seven and I will have some trivia.
Oh yeah.
Very good. I'm excited.
I genuinely want to watch that. I think that'd be brilliant.
I would. I mean, seriously, ladies, hit me up. I would love to do that.
We'll work on it. Should we spin one more?
Yeah.
And then we call it. You just want it.
Guess what? All of Skycaps were way harder than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some
Skycap,
bumpers.
if you want to come on every week and just spend like enough dilithium for $1,000, that's fine by us.
I'm sure we can set up a Patreon for it. People will fund this.
That'll work.
Right. Okay. So we have 0 stars on Admiral Maxwell Forrest, 0 stars on Mira Landry, 1 star on Smitten Picard.
It's way too late for me to track what you said, so I gotta wait for the stream to catch up.
Okay, so Admiral Maxwell Forrest, who has 0 stars. Mira Landry, also 0 stars. Smitten Picard with 1.
Okay.
Meme Picard.
Yeah.
So
If I have one legacy, I hope it's that.
Picard December, Picarduary. When are we getting a month dedicated to
Jean-Luc Hueri.
Picarduary has a nice ring to it, actually. I like that. Picarch?
Pactember?
You damn kids, get off my Picard.
Hold on.
Riker asks Worf what that is. It is a gorge, sir.
A gorge?
Data leans in pimple, sir.
And have you ever noticed now?
Oh, well, it's hardly noticeable.
Have you ever noticed how your
It
boobs
just
are
stares.
Forrest for
You know what
diplomat.
I have to say? Like, even with the gorge, that Worf with the long hair, totally.
Baku. We're taking Forrest
I
here,
go
aren't we?
with Picard.
Are you going to go Picard?
It's gotta be Forrest.
Yeah, he already has a star.
He has the star. You're going for the always take the star metric.
I already have Lincoln for my diplomat. I would. Picard in this case.
Yep,
2
you
of
can't
5.
be
Yeah.
like that.
All right. It's been fun. This has been a good one. This has been a good fun stream.
It's been real fun. I had a
it's-
feeling it was gonna be a good
It
one.
was going to be great. This was good. Sky, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your wonderful
Thank you, guys.
backs. And next time, we'll see you again in about 2 or 3 months when you've saved up another 80,000 merits.
I got 10 merits. I need to bank them back up.
It's going to take a little
Yeah,
while. But
that was
yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much for having me. It was a
No,
blast.
it's
You've been an
brilliant.
absolute joy. Thank you for
Yes.
coming.
And thanks for sitting through us as we just talk bollocks for 2 hours.
I've watched the stream before I do it.
Fair point.
We were on point.
Thank you very much. And thank you everyone in chat that's come and joined in. Thank you for Ben for again joining in chat. And thank you for you guys listening at home on the podcast or driving around, whatever you are doing. And we will see you again next week for another fun-filled episode, which we hope to have on Timelines Talk. So from myself, from Auto, from Stars, from Sky, hopefully we will get that all-female Sky Stellar 7, the all-S, the 3 S's. That's a good name for that somewhere. Someone think of it. The 3 S's podcast coming soon. So, guys,
Prime
a rough-
Lines Talks.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Nailed it.
I'm there. So as Stephen and Senna says in chat, great job, Sky and the 3 guys. We say goodbye.
That's our band.